Hey, everybody, welcome to the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. How are all of you? Hope you're having a good day. Of course, you know, if you're not, this is the place to come every night live at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific to be entertained, informed, educated, enlightened, and to have a really good time. It's all positive vibes on our Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series, where we celebrate so many great things about life with entertainment, bringing back the lost art of conversation as we do every night. And we do it with inspiration, positivity, light, love, and levity, as we say, or the word that we've sort of coined for branding on this show accidentally. But then again, some of the folks have said nothing is an accident in life. We said levity when I was saying love and levity a little too fast in the summertime. So all of a sudden we created the word levity, and everybody has fallen in love with this word levity. So our viewers who watch from all around the world, we have an international audience, which is wonderful. And we welcome everybody. And we, say thanks for joining us on the show. It's a blessing to have you here. We'll perk you up with a great conversation and entertainment tonight with my very special guest, Melissa Errico, Broadway star, film, television, stage. She has done it all, music, and continues to, and she's working on lots of cool projects. She's my very special guest live from New York tonight. She'll be with us in just a second. But this is an Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series patterned sort of after the old school talk shows, where we're bringing in variety. We do something different every single night, so it's not predictable. And it's sort of the sensibilities of the talk shows that brought back the lost art of conversation. Merv Griffin, Mike Douglas, Johnny Carson, Dick Clark. But we're filling that in with a modern twist, modern vibe of today, which is kind of cool. So welcome, everybody. It's nice to have you here. Of course, we salute you in style. If you're just joining us for the first time, I do this work professionally as a television and radio personality, host, presenter, journalist, actor, writer, producer, stage MC, voiceover, narrator. And we created this show many, many, many months ago, about 300 plus episodes, live every day, to connect with everybody and inspire and have a good time, positive vibes. So good to have you with us. We always toast all of you in style on the Jim Masters Show Live. It's a pleasure to have you here. Very nice. And our cast characters are here. Of course, you can see some of them behind me from television and film and everywhere else. We welcome all of you. Thanks for joining us. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're having a good day. If you're not, again, just keep watching the Jim Masters Show Live. You'll always find something interesting. You can binge watch all of our shows too. They're all on our YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV. I invite you to subscribe to the channel as well. We would love that. So many of you have, and people have been doing that day after day. Thank you so much. That helps us create the continued content that you guys look for all the time, and you can easily subscribe to it. I don't know why they say subscribe, because there's no cost. You just click subscribe and you create your little profile there. It also allows you to comment on the content as well, which I think is really cool. Sometimes, we have a very viewer-centric and viewer-active audience of lovities who comment during the show. Matter of fact, let's check in with some of them right now here on the Jim Masters Show Live. A lot of our viewers like to, we created this wonderful community of levity here on the show. So they call themselves the Lovities, and they're very active on the show, like Willie watching from the Netherlands. Good to see you, Willie. Good evening, Jim and my Lovities. Big hug to my lovely family. Have a nice weekend. Good to have you with us watching late into the hour in Holland. Of course, we welcome everybody. Crystal Nolan's watching in Connecticut. Hi, Jim and everybody. Happy Thursday. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Looking forward to an exciting show with inspiring conversation and that famous levity. Mary Bishop is here. Good to see you, Crystal. Mary is watching in Florida. Hello, Jim and Lovities. Good to see you, Mary. Welcome to the show. Rosa Puzo is here. She's watching also from Connecticut. Please tell dear Melissa I miss and love her to the moon. While she is seeing that right now, she is in her home studio as well, and she sees that, and we send you love as well. Rose, good to see her, Rose. Anne is here as well. Happy Thursday evening, Jim, and all my lovely friends. Hope everyone had a wonderful day. We sure are, Anne, and it's nice to have you here from Cleveland, Ohio. Good evening, Jim and Lovities. It's a wonderful evening for a pleasant conversation. It sure is. Good to see you. Kathy, Linda Odell, who's watching in St. Augustine, Florida. Good evening, Jim and Mr. Lovity, and good evening, Lovities. Good to see you as well. Linda in South Africa. Juanita, one of our regular Lovities too. Hello, Jim and Lovity family. Juanita, Nice to see you as always. Rose says pizza in New Haven, maybe soon. That sounds good. Which one? Pepe's, Sally's, Modern? There's so many good ones all over. Everybody says hello to each other. Everybody greets each other. And we love that. Tesla Bella is here from Florida, wonderful actress, comedian, and dear friend. Good evening, dear Mr. Lovety and all the Loveties. Good evening to your special guest, Melissa. Absolutely. It's a real pleasure to have her here. And look at all these great comments coming in. Anne in Southern California. Hello, everyone. Hope you're having a very blessed day. You as well, Anne. Christine Clifton in North Carolina. Greetings, Jim and Lovety friends. Welcome, Broadway star Melissa, to the show tonight. Looking forward to a terrific conversation in Lovety Hall. Cheers. Absolutely. And Patrick McEnroe is watching. Hey, Patrick, I'm a fan of yours as well. And of course, your brother. And of course, Melissa, good to have you here. Loving this, Loveties. If you guys know who Patrick is, of course, a former pro tennis player, ESPN commentator extraordinaire, just did the Australian Open. We were watching that. Patrick is amazing. Good to have you here, Patrick. And he's now one of the Loveties. I wonder if he knew that was going to happen tonight. Good to have you with us, Patrick. And thank you so much. There's several people excited that Patrick is watching as well, who are tennis fans. I play tennis, and a couple of my friends are pros as well. Erin Shields is here. Hi, Jim. David Shenton, that's right, here with wife Erin. Two honored Loveties. So good to see you, and looking forward to what I know will be a fascinating interview. David, of course, was on our show, and we had such a wonderful time with David and Erin. It was fantastic. If you didn't see that episode, it's on our YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV. And Merlin watching from Innerkip, Ontario, Canada. Hi, Jim and all Loveties. Good to see you here. Kathleen in New York City. Hey, Jim. Hope you had a great day. Hi, all. Good to see you, Kathleen. Always a pleasure when you are here. Boy, I tell you, all these comments just pouring in. Thanks, everybody. It's good to see everybody. And thanks for joining us on the show. And keep the comments coming. We'll show them as we go along. Again, it's a real pleasure to have you here. And thanks so much for joining us. We're going to welcome our very special guest right now, Melissa, to the show. Of course, many of you know her from so many different things: film, television, music. She really is extraordinary. And she's been doing a lot of things, too, out of her own home studio. We were just talking about how we've been, each pivoting in our own careers and our own experiences. They call her the Maria Callas of the American musical theater, as Opera News has called her, referencing both her crystalline voice and dramatic expressive intensity. Melissa is a Tony Award nominated Broadway star, an actress, singer, and author who contributes regularly to the New York Times. The Wall Street Journal recently referred to her as really an unbelievable cabaret singer, first known for her starring roles on Broadway, including My Fair Lady, High Society, Les Miserables. Her recent album, Sondheim Sublime, was called by the Wall Street Journal the best of all Sondheim album ever recorded, which is amazing. Melissa's history, of course, with Sondheim began when he selected her to star as Dot in Sunday in the Park with George at the Kennedy Center, and has since co-starred as Clara in Passion at Classic Stage Company and the New York City Center Encores, and production of the Sondheim Rogers musical, Do I Hear a Waltz? In April 2020, she appeared in the much talked about Sondheim 90th birthday concert with Broadway.com. We love our friends at Broadway.com. And in May was featured on the PBS Poetry in America episode. And of course, many of you know my many-year affiliation with PBS, working with them. And this was about Sondheim, which featured Melissa singing Finishing in the Hat in addition to Sondheim. Nothing in her work has been more constant than her association, of course, with composer Michel Legrand, who is, of course, was an extraordinary legend. She starred in the Soul Broadway show, War, and she went on to collaborate with him on the iconic album, Le Grand Affair. After his passing in 2019, she was asked to write his eulogy by the New York Times, and was then invited to be the sole American performer in the extraordinary two-day memorial to Legrand back in April 2019 in Paris. Really incredible. She's just been unbelievably busy too during this time and making full use of it, teaching master classes for students across the country, producing a delicious at-home cooking show, The Honest Cook, She's been doing that on Instagram and so much more. We're going to talk about it all. Of course, television projects, stage, music. She's got her hands in all of it, and it's my pleasure to welcome her live and direct from New York, the wonderful Melissa Errico. Melissa, thank you very much for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you here, and welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you. Hello, everyone, all my friends out there.
And all the Lovedies too, right?
All the Lovedies. I love this. This is so great. Thanks for having me.
And Amy says hello to all Lovedies. And Juanita in South Africa is welcoming you to the show.
Hi.
Welcoming Patrick as well. Everybody knows Patrick, of course, too. And Willie in the Netherlands, where it's like 1 a.m., says, welcome, Melissa, and have fun with Jim Masters.
Willie, you like me, you like to stay up late.
Yeah, a night owl. Exactly. She sets her alarm clock around our show. I think she takes a nap in the day so she doesn't miss the show at night, which happens. We were doing that with the Australian Open, getting up early to watch it because it was like 3:30, 4 in the morning. Welcome, Melissa, from Kathleen in New York City. And Mary Bishop, welcome to the show, Melissa. So nice to have you here. I told you, the Lovedy wave is coming your way, my friend.
Yeah. Woo.
And Wozniak, welcome, Melissa. Have been looking forward to tonight. Tess Labella, hello, Melissa. Welcome to Lovedy Hall. We are so happy you're here with dear Jim. Thank you very much. We love that. And Mary Bishop in Florida saying, welcome to the show, Melissa. So nice to have you here. And Rose Apuzzo, cooking shows, best mom and kindness overload. We love that. Crystal in Connecticut. Hi, Melissa. Welcome to Lovedy Hall, the Jim Master Show as well. We love you, Jim, Mr. Lovedy. Thank you, Tess. We appreciate that. And more coming in. So how are you? You've been keeping busy and creative sort of in your home studio as well, huh? Through all of this?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm sitting here. I put my little gray backdrop here. One of the reasons my hair is straight right now is that I have been doing self-tapes, and today I had to play a villain. And so my naturally curly hair, which always makes me look like, cheery painting or something, I had to make myself look evil today. And I had black turtleneck on. And so this is where I film auditions. I have some television work coming up that I can't talk about, but some that I am still putting myself out there for. So I have Zoom auditions, I have pre-tape auditions. So in the last 3 days, I've stood behind this gray backdrop in my little home guest room. I have played sort of a wife to a raunchy guy. I've played a dude ranch singer in full peasant, sort of, not peasant, pioneer costume. Full pioneer costume. And I've been singing Rockin' Robin like in a cowboy hat. I mean, this was for Comedy Central. It was crazy. And my children were just like, they were upset because I had to get some mail and I was in this full pioneer costume. And I went out to the front door and Juliet says, I have 3 children, they're preteens. And Juliet says, Mommy, please don't go out there. Please don't go outside. So in full costume. And I did go outside, my poor children. And a few people were walking their dog and they just see me dressed like a pioneer woman, from a dude ranch. It's just something else. And then today I had to be a villain, someone capable of torturing someone. So I thought straight hair would help because I'm not very villainous in general.
It sounds like an episode of Days of Our Lives.
Oh, my life is so crazy because they want us to perform in our homes. So, and not go on auditions and either self-tape or meet people on Zoom. And I'm doing it because the phone is ringing and I'm delighted to do it. It's, I think on some level, this has been life upturning. It's just, I'll never forget it. I will be so glad when it's over, but I will never forget the way my family's had to work together and the way I've had to kind of just keep responding to the agent calling. I'm like, okay, I can get dressed here and do it here. Sure.
Exactly. And for those watching who don't know what self-taping is, that's actually doing the audition and setting up your camera and everything basically in your house, and you're your own lighting person and camera person and makeup person, and you just got to roll as opposed to going into the city or elsewhere to do the audition, right? It's a whole new world with that. And then you upload it or you email it to the agency or casting director.
Yeah, Jim, it's very common now to be doing self-tapes. Like, I actually have lights now.
Right.
I used to really know how to do this, but before the pandemic, it was already very important for actors to know how to tape themselves. And one of the topics, in the last couple of years that I've been writing, I think it's like From the Footlights, stories in the New York Times, what it's like to be an actress. One of the things I wrote about way before the pandemic, a year before, was self-taping. So I have a long story in the New York Times, if anyone would like to read it. And it really tells you what they actually ask us to do and how people handle it. You might be interested in reading that. And I met the man who invented the word self-tape. And he actually has a copyright on it. So he's the godfather of the self-tape.
Of self-tape. Wow.
He was so interesting. In interviewing him about his career in California, teaching actors to take control of their auditions, to run their own, cameras and act, and then submit it to their agent. In other words, not meet a casting director. It saves casting directors time. So this man has a service called selftape.com. And anyway, he's one of the many, many people that I spoke to and interviewed. But one of the fascinating things was that he said one of his goals is to create a camera where the actor will walk in the room in 3 dimensions so that they can actually create a hologram of the actor. So instead of going into meetings, you can actually walk into their room, but not really be there. I thought that was crazy, absolutely crazy. I mean, charming and crazy.
That's amazing, huh?
The ultimate goal of self-taping is to kind of become a 3-dimensional object that can walk in at any time. And then they can turn you off. You see, that's the thing. As actors, you get it right and you send it in, as opposed to when you come in to a casting director, the casting director has to say hello.
Mm-hmm.
We lost our conversation. It's well lost.
Right.
So, and all of the hello and whatever and this and the character, and then a self-tape allows casting directors to see 500 people where they would normally see 50. And I interviewed the greatest casting directors in the business, like Bernie Telsey, Tara Rubin, and I even interviewed the actress who's known as the greatest auditioner in history.
Really?
Yeah, Carol Lawrence, who was the original star of West Side Story.
Legendary, yes.
Yeah, and she's an older woman, and I was able to talk to her about auditions, and she concurred that she was wonderful at it.
That's amazing. That's really cool.
It was so cool. So enjoy the article if you
yes.
After a few of your cosmopolitans and the Lovities have broken up,
Oh, these Lovities, they never break up. They're 24/7.
They should call me. I'm up.
they chat amongst themselves too, along with all of us. Just want to let you know, one of our cast members here, who's sort of my Ed McMahon, is watching and with us, George Burns.
Oh, how cute.
He's here every night with his cigar, and he sends his love. You can't go wrong with a George Burns, right?
No.
So you've been keeping busy, and that is fantastic, and a lot of different projects and a lot of cool things coming up. Let's go back in time a little bit so people get a chance to really learn more about you, separate from the amazing work you've done. I know we've talked about Broadway and stage, but a prolific music career, television as well, and some really cool projects you've had an opportunity to work on. And we'll go through some of that. But how did you first get started for you, Melissa, growing up? What were some of those early youthful inspirations for you? I know you come from a relatively creative family, right?
I do. I have a lot of creativity in my history and also a bit of frustration. My father would have loved to be a concert pianist,
Yeah.
and they're both Italian American, my parents, and neither of them fully pursued a life in the arts, and yet they brought so much art to the house. My father was a prodigy as a child. He was a concert pianist when he was around 4, and he was got a scholarship to Yale University as a concert pianist, but he didn't pursue it. He went to medical school and he went to the Vietnam War. And my father never had a chance really to be a full-time musician. However, I grew up with this wonderful father who was busy and intense. He was an intense surgeon, but he used to come home and play the piano. And he would play the piano for many, many hours. And so it was wonderful to have that kind of music in the house. And my mother was a sculptor and a painter and very, very interested in theater. So once I got interested in theater, they took me to see a play. They took me to see On Your Toes at the Virginia Theater. And that really,
Good one.
it inspired me for the rest of my life. And I'll never forget when I went to see it. It was my birthday and I was staring at the stage. And though I had seen shows before, something in that show felt like I needed to be a part of that. I started to cry and I said to my parents, who are these people? How did they get there?
Right.
And I really meant it. It was like, yes, they take me to see shows, but my parents weren't, like taking us to the Philharmonic every day and this, that, it was like a big deal to go and see a play. To go. So I was really moved by that show. And to my mother's credit, she recognized that my gymnastics career was coming to an end, and she put me in a drama camp, and it wasn't my idea. And she just knew that I had that experience at a play, and I went to a drama camp, and then because of my gymnastics background, I think I was right away a natural clown, if you can believe it.
Sure.
I used to be able to do tricks and flips and cartwheels. I've done cartwheels. I've tried to do a cartwheel in every Broadway show. Or some kind of acrobatics. In My Fair Lady, I did a lot of acrobatics, and even in the Sondheim musicals you've mentioned, one of them, I did an actual cartwheel in Sunday in the Park with George. All kinds of things, like in Amour, where I was nominated for a Tony, I did a lot of tricks because I had a can, and I did the cartwheel that never stops. You go round and round and round.
Right.
So my first experiences in theater were more clowning because of my life as a gymnast. So, and I was shapely and had this big puffy curly hair all of a sudden. So I was kind of funny, it was funny looking. I was 12 and I looked like crazy, I just had a lot going on.
A lot of vim and vigor.
I had a lot of vim and vigor. I had tricks, I had hair, I had a tush, and
one-woman show.
I was a one-woman show. So my parents encouraged all of this. They sent me to that camp, and then they tolerated my wanting to go back and never wanting to be home. The minute I got into a play, I wanted to the next summer do it again. So I was in Guys and Dolls, and I played Evita opposite Jason Robert Brown when he was also 13 or 14 and he was playing Che. And so every summer, it was just every 3 weeks, some huge role like Barnum or etc. So, and my mother loved it. She loved it. She used to laugh and she used to say, oh, my little fascist, when I was doing Evita or whatever. And she would send me diamonds or outfits or things to summer camp, So my mom was a hoot, even though she didn't pursue her art 100%. She really encouraged me to be an actress. And one little nice sidebar about my lovely mother's sculptures is that I included one of her sculptures in my concert 2 weeks ago in New York City, a live stream. And her statue was a statue called Secret Desire. And I did a concert called Desire, and everyone wanted to buy the statue. So my mother's had to get a mold made, and she's selling her statue. It's really beautiful. So it sort of comes full circle. I feel she made a lot of sacrifices for me, and I'm happy for her that her artwork is incredible. So So
Wow.
anyway, my mom's got a great sculpture out there if anyone wants it. You
That's
know,
cool. Yeah, that's
yeah, it's amazingly beautiful sculpture. So so that's
so
how I grew up. I grew up with artistic people, and my
artistic.
mother really, really enjoyed me, and my father played beautiful music in the house. So
Right.
I was very lucky that that was there. But I sort of invented the idea of being an actress. We didn't have any actresses. Or
So was it the actress first and then the singer, or the singer first, then the actress? What were you clinging towards or headed towards early on in your youth?
well, you see, right away I was kind of like I said, I was a gymnast, and so
Yeah.
I was almost first a dancer because I moved. So, I like to move, and so I went into musical theater. But I guess it was almost, if it was first anything, it was just physical. It
Right.
was like I liked all of it.
Right.
I liked the first thing I did was guys after How to Succeed in Business. Then I did Adelaide, and I think it was comedy, musical comedy itself, which was what I first loved, was making people laugh and putting on doing something kind of ridiculous. I had a good sense of the ridiculous. My mother has a huge sense of the ridiculous.
So the entertainer, you loved entertaining. However, it was coming out as you were developing and fine tuning it. You were definitely somebody who likes to lighten the load for others and entertain them, right?
Absolutely. My mother's gorgeous, blonde hair, boob. She used to say you have to have this and that. I mean, that was her idea of advice.
Yeah, this and that.
She was very simple in her, monosyllabic advice. She also said the key to life, the things to know in life is ask and mingle.
Do you know? Right, right. And there's a third that my father has always said, and that is if somebody says something positive to you, maybe about your work, your personality, something you said or did, always tell them to put it in writing and address it management.
If you have management that you
Right.
that's funny. That's
But,
terrific.
but great advice, right? That's great advice. She is right
It
about
was
that.
fun. Yeah. So I think a sense of fun is really what got me first, was that theater was fun. And I was a academic kid. Like, I really enjoyed schoolwork. I was serious about schoolwork.
Yeah.
I always did my homework. I always got straight A's. And I
And what
think,
were you focusing on? What was when you were in school, did you have another trajectory that you were going towards?
well, by college I did. Yeah. But not when I was a teenager. I was just doing homework. And by college, I got interested in art history. But
Mm,
in my, high school years, I just was busting it, just basically so my parents would leave me alone, so I could go to dance class and do plays, and you literally walk around Times Square and just stare at the marquee of Chorus Line and Amadeus and Noises Off, and just long to be a part of it. I literally would just walk and look. I was a Long Island girl, and I had no idea how to get in at all into the business. And I
mhm.
just look at it and just really want to do it. So I think it was a sense of adventure, which was first. And I was auditioning for Rhode Island's Theater by the Sea, freshman year at Yale. I did go as an art history major, and I was auditioning for George M, which
Mm,
is which is the tap dancing role in
yeah,
the little
right.
shorts that made Bernadette Peters famous, and I was tapping, and I was in these little mini shorts and high heels with curly hair and everything. The director of Les Mis saw me in the hall. I looked with the Victorian hair like his idea of a teenage Cosette,
Mm,
a real teenage Cosette. And he came up to the door and he asked the people from Rhode Island if I could come in and audition for Cosette in Les Mis. That's when music started for me. I actually took the tap shoes off. I put a skirt on. They let me go across the hall, and I auditioned for Les Mis, where I was supposed to be like the clown in Rhode Island. I auditioned for Les Mis, and they cast me on the spot.
mm,
They said, "Can you start in 10 days?" And
mhm.
I was a freshman at Yale, and I had to go downstairs and call my parents on a payphone and ask them if I could drop out of college. But so just when you ask, like, what was it? Being in like an opera like Les Mis changed my life because I had to find a melancholy in that character. She was lonely. She was behind the gate. She was in a black dress. She was holding the bars, and she was like dreaming of a life she can't have. And I think playing Cosette showed me another side of myself as an actress, and all this natural melancholy actually came out. And I loved playing Cosette, and I really owe Richard J. Alexander, who was the director of that, and John Caird and Cameron McIntosh and everyone who was a part of that, giving such a young actress the opportunity to play Cosette. I was just a teenager. So I did do it. And I think it really opened up my spirit to a different kind of performing, which has kind of been more what I've known for, like more spiritual, sad, beautiful music, characters that, I have played wacky people as well, but I've found a lot of work as what they call an ingenue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is sort of this romantic girl who has these wishes and these ideals. The character actress was better, was easier when I was 12 and 14. Then, when I was actually 18 and in the profession, I was sort of in a skirt, and I kind of fell into that for most of my career.
So would you consider that production where you were involved with Richard J. Alexander, who's wonderful as well? I know that wonderful friendship he's had with Barbara Streisand all those years too, which is amazing. You would consider that one of, if not the big sort of break or door opening opportunity for you?
Yes, I would say that was the biggest opportunity of my career, because it made me a professional. But I did go back to college, and when I got out of college, I did Anna Karenina, another 19th century novel. If I see a book about 900 and something pages has been turned into a musical, I usually have a good shot. Right after that, another period piece, My Fair Lady, came into my life. I was 22, and I got the leading part in My Fair Lady. And that, I think, would even be more of a big break, because Eliza's a big role, and Eliza on Broadway was, it's one of the iconic things to ever get to do as a musical theater actress. So I think that was probably the biggest opportunity of my life. I'll never forget, Jim, you have very few times as an actress where your life completely changes. A lot of the time it's rejection. And a lot of the time it's adaptation, or it's compromise. But sometimes you sit in a chair and someone says to you, you got the part.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll never forget that. I was called into the producer's office, and she said, you got the part. Mm. And I was it was Fran Weisler.
What did that feel like? What was that? What's inside? What were you feeling? Nervous, excited? I've earned it. All of the above?
No, not earned it as much as thank you. Like, I wanted it so much, and I was going to honor it with every ounce of my body. I knew it. Yeah. And I was honoring it every audition. And I was so grateful, and I was so excited. It was like it was a trip to the moon. It was the keyhole. It was Alice in Wonderland. It was the first door opening to just a miracle, for me, the dream.
Did you run home? Did you run and get on that phone and phone home to tell? What was that like? That phone call like?
It was great. It was great to be able to tell my parents that, and it lived up to that. It really was life changing. Eliza has a lot to learn, and she wants to change herself. She wants to open up her life. So I've spent a lot of my life feeling like Eliza, and her voice. Her voice is how she got free, and was lifted into a whole nother reality. So I will always think of Eliza Doolittle as transformative. Maybe not necessarily like the part for me for centuries or whatever, like that I made the indelible mark on it. I hope I made some. I think I made a little bit of a mark on certain political and social gender conversation. We had my character be rather strong, and I think we have left a little bit of a legacy that was carried on even this year in the Lincoln Center production, but a sort of a feminism and a sense that I'm not a girly girl. I'm just here. I've come to have lessons I have, and to pay for them too, make no mistake. She's got like a sense of herself. And so I think a lot of the feminism of the piece made a lot of progress in my time, has made more. And maybe one day, to be honest, I would love to direct it, because I feel like it could go to I think there's even more in it. But Eliza is a very iconic role, and it's a very important role. And I was just very lucky to get a shot at it. I have written also about sexism and gender and those old roles and what I tried to do with Eliza. I did write about that also in the Times. So I'm very proud to have done it, and a little frustrated that we didn't get away with as much as we had planned. At the time, the estate pulled back the ideas because it wasn't so romantic to have her be tough, or to have him at the end not have a reunion with her where she, comes back and they're together. This year, or last year in Lincoln Center, the actress just walked right out. But the year I did it, we tried to make it the years that we did it we did a national tour before Broadway. At the very end, it was unclear whether I'd come back or whether he'd been imagining it, that it was a fantasy. And they didn't like that. They wanted the set to come back, so it seemed like I actually came back. But we tried to make it a dream, so you would think that in a weird way, she didn't come back.
Right.
This year she walks out. The year I did it, they wouldn't let us. So interesting things, how old shows are allowed to be reinterpreted at different times in history. Anyway, I feel I made a contribution, but I'm not sure that it was, change anyone's life, but it changed my life. And I think it added to the conversation of the feminism in the Shaw's, foundation of that musical.
You do so many different things too. Like I mentioned, incredible stage career, television, film, music. What speaks to your heart first and the most and pulls at you the most? Is it singing? Is it performing as an actress? Is it a little 50-50 for you? Because you do so much.
Jim, it's going to sound crazy, but there is a quote by a wonderful songwriter in history. He wrote The Wizard of Oz. His name is Yip Harburg. And Yip Harburg said that a song lets you feel a thought. And I think for me, it's the ideas. Whatever the idea is of a given creative project, if I attach to the idea,
yes,
I get excited. So I don't know if I go from. To genre as much as I go from idea to idea.
Yes, right.
So what it is that draws me is whatever idea is really strong and available. Of course, we're actors. It's not like I can say, "Oh, I'd like to do this now." Well, good luck with that.
It doesn't always work that way. You can self-tape that. Yeah,
exactly. I'd like to do that too. So you have to deal with what's available and also what's going on, and maybe make something for yourself. It's a combination as an actor. As I've gotten older, I've been a little less of a person to just wait and wait and wait for something to interest me. But it used to be that if something interested me, I just, try to make it work, whether it was an opera or not an opera as much as like a formal musical theater thing with classical type music, or if it was something more of a straight play, like I did Candida, and I've done Oscar Wilde plays. I did a wonderful play with Wally Shawn at the New Group, which was a really strong and tough musical about Manhattanites and about compassion and about violence. And I was glad to be a part of it and to and to be, well, actually in that play, I was kind of a punching bag for not nice people, but I was thrilled to be a part of a group of actors like that were so harsh and smart and wanted to, and so to join a straight play, I was thrilled to do it. So it sort of depends on the ideas anyhow.
So you need to really feel it and believe in it to, right.
Upstairs as well. I like to, it's like I'm an upstairs unheart person at the same time. I really like to know why we're doing something. And then if I can get into the ideas, I'll run with it. So I play a musical, and I have always loved recording, and I have protected my recordings in a weird way. Like I didn't just throw together some album or something. I always took it really seriously to make, if I was going to make an album, it would mean something. And I had a kind of a heartbreak in my life, and my debut album was called Blue Like That. And so it wasn't just a debut album. I did get signed to Capitol Records. Like you said, Richard J has been in my life, but lots of people in the recording industry have come into my life. Phil Ramone, Arif Martin. I've been so lucky to work with real music people. There it is. There's the hair.
There it is. The very first debut.
And there's the breakup. That's Soho. I lived in Soho for almost 20 years, by the way. And I was trying to musicalize a hurt, my first hurt, not just a little girl's hurt, but just like a hurt, and what it is to be blue. And my brother wrote a wonderful song called I Still Love You. And I sang Company by Ricky Lee Jones. And I had an idea that if I was going to musicalize my hurt, what would it sound like? And that's where the music, I didn't just do it because it was cool, but I thought it would be nice if I was an interpretive singer, as I am. I'm a lyric soprano. I don't have a very screaming kind of voice.
Right.
So using my natural voice, I wanted jazz in there. So I got Alan Pasqua. I was living in LA doing some television and film, and Alan and I would get together, and he's a wonderful, famous jazz musician. And he was playing demos with me and putting jazz chords on the kind of music I was bringing him. I had worked with Randy Newman.
Oh, yeah. One of the best, too.
On a musical. And I had taken over the role of, in the musical Faust that Linda Ronstadt had played. And so Randy Newman sort of indicated to me a kind of singer-songwriter material. So I had an idea to do the Ricky Lee Jones and other singer-songwriter, Billy Joel, and then have jazz, the gorgeousness of jazz chords and my sort of theater voice. So to combine singer-songwriter stuff, jazz, and and the way I sing. I didn't want to try to say like, oh, I'm a cool pop star, I'm not a jazz singer, but just to put all those sounds together and see if I could find like a lonely sort of bluesy feeling. And so that's what Blue Like That was. So every album has a story for me.
Right. That's cool.
Anyway.
And I mean, and that's amazing too. I mean, to have the opportunity to be involved in so many different aspects of the arts like you have, talking about, as you just so beautifully said, the reason for this particular album leading to another great one, Lullabies and Wildflowers. Tell us about this one, Melissa.
Well, this was when I had my children, and I had all the flowers there were drawn by Kate Neckel, and Kate Neckel is a wonderful illustrator and a very successful artist, Kate Neckel. She is a mom, and she drew those flowers as we were all having children together in New York City. I met a group of women, Kate was one of them, at a yoga class. And what happened is I didn't want yoga class to ever end. And I didn't want to say goodbye to those ladies at the end of the day. And as I had my big stomach and we would sort of hobble off in New York City in Soho, I got people's email addresses and I created a group. And the group grew and grew and grew. And eventually I made that record for the women. So that's an album that was for the soul of all these women. We became a mother's community and a mother's group, and it still exists. It started in 2005 and it grew till maybe I think now it's well into 5,000 families, and it's free, and it's a 501c3. And I was the founder of this. It became a charity, and we all went through a lot. It sounds like Soho Moms, which it was, but then there was really hard things too. There were children that died. There were girls who suffered. There were miscarriages. There was, there was just a lot. Everyone suffered in some way or had to work hard. There were foster parent issues. And I was the founder of a mother's community. And so I found myself almost crossing the line of social work. And and I loved being a part of it. I still love being a part of the Bowery Babes. And I did an album for the mother, because I know we were all sitting there with our babies and music was so bad. I thought like so many bad lullabies records. And I wanted something that was like me singing to other mothers, like soothing the soul of the mother. That was my goal with that record. So the idea was not to have like it turns out to be kind of hip. I hired Rob Mathis to do the arrangements, and he works with Sting. And so all the lullabies have this great musicians on it, people who've worked with Stevie Wonder and Elvis Costello. And so it was a lullabies record for moms that I thought might just give them a break and just let them sing that lullaby to their kids, but also feel comforted. But I mean, no record is really as narrative or whatever as Sondheim Sublime. I just don't want to, leave that out. That's the more that record is fairly recent, and obviously the Legrand records on either side. I did a Legrand record and then a reissue of that. Sondheim Sublime is like my heart and soul record. It's like I matured into this. And I had a health problem at one point that was just a scare, but it made me realize that we're not here forever. And I wondered if all these years of ideas and singing and loving and having children and everything, if I ever had to say goodbye, or if I ever had to share wisdom with people, what would I do? And I put it on this record, and I thought Sondheim was the person to speak for me and for me to speak through. Sondheim's a major composer. He's funny, he's acidic, he's nasty, he's urban, he's cosmopolitan, he's edgy. I didn't do all of Sondheim with Sondheim Sublime. I chose, if he's a castle, try to imagine I chose one room in the castle. And that room is the most empathetic, trance-like, wise, philosophical, loving, sensual side of Sondheim. The sublime word came to me with kind of like a stroke of inspiration,
right?
Because of my background in art history. Because the sublime in art, in English art, like the art of Turner, is the art of terror mixed with beauty.
Right.
And I think terror and beauty goes very well with Sondheim. Not only is his work terrifying and difficult, but it's also agonizingly beautiful. And so Sondheim Sublime is kind of like my gut, like turned inside out. Children in art, children will listen. Goodbye for now.
Right.
Anyhow, so I loved making that record. So as you see, I get excited.
And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing because it's an extension of who you are. I mean, you're sharing the essence of who Melissa is as a person, as a human being, as a member of, a life community. And I think it's a really cool thing. And you're able to express it through the various forms of the arts that you're involved in. And I think you have the ability to select and pick and choose the things that really speak to you, that you can then take and run with, and then give that energy and inspiration back to others through your art and
Yeah.
artful ways. And that's a beautiful thing when you have opportunities to do that, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's times where I've done Sondheim Sublime concerts and people are like reaching to hold my hand while I'm singing. Like,
Yes.
and I hold their hand, like stuff comes up for people with that music. And
Pretty cool when that happens, isn't it?
it's wild. It's wild. And when it's not about you and your even your story that brought you there, everybody feels that everybody has their sublime thing. You know, what the big questions in Sondheim is like, what do we leave behind when we depart this world?
Yes.
What are the messages? What's the careful the tale you tell? That is the spell. Children will listen. Like, what are you saying to your children? What are you saying to yourself about who you are? And so these are big questions. And so when you sing them and you feel them and other people feel them, that's what you look for.
It's full circle. It's a full circle situation, symbiotic relationship, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. I feel it differently with Michel Legrand. I didn't even mention that Michel Legrand is a French composer, a film composer.
Yeah.
But brilliant person. He was my father's fascination. So when I was growing up and he wasn't playing classical music, he was playing Michel Legrand at home. And it was seeping into my mind, into my heart, that this is the sexiest music. Not complicated, not sublime insofar as not about all these dark and deep things, but about sensuality and eroticism and just love, the sound of desire and love. And I definitely could see my mother and my father, when he would play it, she would come over to him and I was like, whoa, what's going on here? I loved the sound of Michel Legrand. And I cannot believe that after I did Sunday in the Park with George, it was like one of those wonderful years that I was cast in Amour on Broadway and I met Michel Legrand. And
what was that like for you?
That was another one of those.
That was another pinch me moments.
Those moments where God was in the room. You know, I would do anything to make that show good. I know the show had a bumpy history or it didn't last that long. It was, 6 weeks of previews and whatever month of running or something. But the fact that he was in the room was thrilling to me. And Barbara Streisand, of course, comes to mind as Summer Knows. What are you doing the rest of your life? Yentl. But I just knew his music. And so to meet him was incredible. And to be on Broadway and do that, then we were all nominated for Tonys, which was delightful, wonderful, amazing. And, but we made an album together. And I think it was the next year, we made an album together. And I worked on that album as I had my kids. So I didn't release it until 2011. And that was a symphonic record called Le Grand Affair. And when he died recently, I re-released it with new music. And the last song he ever wrote, I was given by Alan Bergman. So that's a tribute. You see, like that's the original right there. Yeah, that's what the original album cover looked like. The new one, actually, I put on a little music stand right behind me. But
well, that's cool. Yeah.
Wonderful. It's funny. You can really see that I'm sitting in a car in that. I should tell you that, yeah, I didn't have, a big budget or anything. Though it looks rather nice. The Bowery Babes, which was a mother's group, when I look at that cover, Jim, I see all the love and support from my mother's group. And I'll tell you why. I didn't know where to have the album cover taken. And I was talking to some of the gals. We had little kids at this time, babies. Yeah. And I had 3 babies. I had twins and a 2-year-old. My friend Claudia told me that her husband was a photographer. So I spoke to the photographer and he said, oh, okay. So it's like sort of 50s, 60s, 70s, like late 50s. Michel Legrand was like the sexy movies of the Agnes Varda and the Nouvelle Vague and the New Wave Cinema. I said, yeah. He says, you're not going to believe this, but in the East Village, right near where we lived, there's a car. And I know where the car is. We can pay and we paid cash. So the parking attendant would not look. And we went into a parking lot. There were no tires on that car.
No tires on the car? What kind of car was it?
Well, actually, go back to the picture. I'll tell your people. Okay, so can you see there's some dirt in the back window behind me?
Oh, is that what that is?
Dirt. And we just washed it.
It works.
We didn't have like a crew or anything.
No.
So we scrubbed it so the light would come through. And if you can see behind me, there's in that window pane, you can see there's a light.
Yep.
That's actually just his light, which is distracting you from not knowing that there's a parked car next to it. This is an antique car that was a sort of, someone was paying the parking fee.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody was ever using it because the car had no tires. So I got in the backseat of the car in a Prada dress, and I had a girl doing my hair. I did my makeup, and I sat in the back of this antique car. And then one of the other mothers in the yoga class also had her children. Maybe her child was.
That is funny.
She did the font. So when I look at Melissa Errico, Le Grand Affair, that's my friend Melanie, who lived on Prince Street.
Yep.
So all these wonderful friends, they wanted to see me getting back my career, and we all had little babies. And
what a story to that, huh?
Isn't that nice? The album cover was a collaboration of parents downtown who really knew that once I had my babies and I was running this charity, they really wanted me to get back on my feet and get singing. And so, I'm very lucky,
Absolutely. Yeah. Blessed.
My own levities,
Yes, exactly. Here's another one. More.
Yeah, that was a few years, I don't know, later or something. That was a kind of a reissue of the Lullabies and Wildflowers and a little bit of some extra tracks. Peggy Lee song called Walking Happy.
Oh, yeah.
And, Maybe Someone Dreamed Us by Michel Legrand, and How Are Things in Glacamora, which is the main song that maybe anyone would sort of demand at any of my concerts, because it's from a musical that I did many times called Finian's Rainbow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And the most recent time I did it, I was 46, and the New York Times called me and asked me what was going on in my career. And I said, nothing. And they said, oh, what do you mean nothing? I said, I was just asked to do Finian's Rainbow again, and I'm just too old. And that's how I got started writing, because they thought that was funny. So I wrote my first article was about aging and being an ingenue my whole life. And how does an ingenue, what do you do, when you're not 18 and 23 and 26? So the article begins with the door, my front door, a big knock on the door, and it's the ingenue police, and they've come to take me away. So anyway, Finian's Rainbow and How Are Things in Glacamora are.
So there you go there.
Pivotal. I don't know if everyone would know all these things, but this is a wonderful musical from 1946, written in part to address racism.
Yeah.
And it's the first Broadway musical where Black and white actors shared dressing rooms and had scenes together, integrated scenes on stage. And Yip Harburg was a great, great liberal thinker and wonderful leader, really, and liberal ideas on the Broadway stage. So I was honored to do it so many times because it tells a wonderful story about peace. And she's an Irish girl, if you're looking at that picture there.
Yeah.
She's an Irish girl. I'm singing Glacamora there, and my father's listening, and she's missing Ireland. She's an immigrant. She comes to the United States, and she enters the Jim Crow South.
Mm-hmm.
She sees racism and hurt, and she's an idealistic lass. And so she's a very pure-hearted, and you learn a little bit about American history from this show, but it's also very entertaining because there's a leprechaun and there's magical powers. And it turns out it's possible that I don't even exist.
Mm.
So
Yeah, that's a very cool shot. Yeah,
yeah, it's a beautiful song, and it's a wonderful relationship. That's her father. So
Mm.
she travels to the United States with her dad and faces racism she doesn't understand, and she has a lot to do with people changing.
Exactly right. Exactly right. I want to show them some clips too. We'll go back to talking more about some of the other incredible things you've done on stage and television and in music. But there's a new release that has just come out, right? Tell us about the new release. That's very exciting. We actually have that video here.
Are you talking about the Michel Legrand album or the new concert series?
I think it's the new concert series. Yeah, that's very exciting.
Well, I think you're talking about the concert series I'm doing at the French Institute Alliance Française. It has to do with Michel Legrand insofar as it's French. And Michel Legrand, when he passed, I was invited to lots of memorials. I re-released my album in his honor. I wrote about him. And during the pandemic, the president of FIAF approached me and asked me if I would help to reopen the doors on 60th Street. All of us are not working. All of us are not in physical theaters anymore. And she said she would really like to know if I had the courage to open the door and walk in and perform in a live way. And she
cool.
would hire 4 cameras, and I would enter their theater with Ted Firth and do a concert series. So I now have done 2, but most important was I didn't feel that I could do this concert without the help of one of my great mentors and friends and inspirations, Adam Gopnik. Adam Gopnik is a writer for the New Yorker magazine, but I met him when I had the thrill to help him and David Shire developed their beautiful musical called Our Table. And I got to know Adam Gopnik. And Adam Gopnik is one of the great speakers and writers about French culture. So when FIAF approached me, I knew Adam, and I knew he would be brilliant. And so I invited him, and he accepted. And so the concert series is really the 3 of us. It's Adam Gopnik speaking about French culture, French themes, narrating the songs, and Ted Firth playing the piano in his inimitable way. So it's the 3 of us, and we've done 2. And the first was called Love. The next one was called Desire. And the next one will be called Mystery. So it's called Love, Desire, and Mystery. And it's it's like a seminar of ideas in a way with songs and entertainment and an education.
That's very cool.
It's really beautiful because Adam is brilliant. He's funny and brilliant. And yeah.
And then you have a new song and video out. Happiness is a thing called Joe. Tell us about that.
Yes. Happiness is just a thing called Joe is kind of harking back to my love of Yip Harburg, who I was talking about, who wrote Finian's Rainbow.
Yeah.
Yip Harburg wrote a wonderful song called Happiness is Just a Thing Called Joe from Cabin in the Sky. And during the summer, Laura Downs approached me to collaborate. And I have to credit Adam Gopnik with this because he has always wanted me to sing that song and to meet Laura Downs. And he knew her and has worked with her. He put us together, and we were absolutely gangbusters together. She is half Jewish, half Jamaican. She's a classical pianist, and she's been doing a lot of political music. And she has a radio show called Amplify on NPR, and she's fascinating. So we did a collaboration. She's living in California, and I'm here in New York. And we put this song together at first for Broadway for Biden because of Joe, but also because Yip Harburg's ideas are really, really powerful in general. And it's a wonderful song about being happy with what you have. So I think we all...
Which I think is something we've all been sort of learning this past year with everything we've been through, right? Be happy with what you have, the blessings and joys that we have in our lives, some of those simple things in our lives that are right there in front of us that sometimes when we get busy running around, slaying the dragon and conquering the world, we forget about or we just don't recall. And I think in this particular year, a song like that is the several months that we've been through together collectively. It's such an appropriate song too, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was wonderful because she's a mom. She's my age. She's got 2 kids. There were the fires in San Francisco. She couldn't go outside. She could barely breathe. And you know what? It gave us something to do together. And we got to know each other. We both agreed that Yip Harburg, I had such a strong connection to him. She had a huge connection to Cabin in the Sky. So we felt that was the right artist to conjure at this tricky and hard time in life. And to work together as 2 women and to be on Zoom and then to be practicing and having her send me demos, it was really beautiful. And I don't do it to be busy. I do it to make collaborations and connections. And it was so meaningful for us. And we had so much fun. We were laughing. And then she filmed herself and I filmed myself at a favorite beach of mine. And because I feel like nobody wants singers indoors right now,
Right.
breathing and everything. So I thought, you know what, I'll film myself singing outside. I'll feel free. And I'll just pray in my way to appreciating just the gifts of nature, living in the now. I put my kids to bed. I always say, good night. Don't think about tomorrow. And don't think anymore about today or anything that's past. Just be on your pillow now.
Exactly.
And that's been my thing lately with my kids and sort of self is what is now. And I feel like me and Laura tried to find a kind of a calm that she and I are both very busy. We like to do a lot of things, but together the music calms us and the music brought us closer. And it was beautiful. She played beautifully. She plays like Gershwin. I mean, she's so great. So I appreciated her. She appreciated me. And so the music just came out about 3 weeks ago. It's on Spotify and all this. It's a single, and we even have a coffee mug. There's a coffee mug you can buy.
Is there?
There is.
That has the phrase on it?
Yep. Our faces. And our face is a beautiful art design by Mark Schulery, who's a friend of mine and a designer, who's designed all my albums. And so we're really proud of that collaboration, me and Laura. She's a wonderful, wonderful person.
Want to show you a couple of things. Amy, who's a wonderful poet and one of our faithful lovities, watches the show all the time. We love Amy. Says you're such a creatively talented person. And Robert's here. Hey, Melissa, it's Rob from Old Colony Records. Miss getting to chat with you at the store. You're always a bright light. All the best.
I love the Colony Records. Hi, Rob.
Hey, Rob. Welcome to the Jim Masters Show Live. Good to have you with us.
Do you remember when we had to go to the record store,
Oh, the record stores. I used to spend hours in the record stores digging through all the bins and listening and sampling. And I actually have you'll laugh. I've mentioned it a couple of times in the show. We have a climate controlled storage unit in a totally separate building, one of those storage places, not far from the house here on the coast. And it has a lot of my television work, it's the stuff that's on tape and film and just all of it. So it doesn't, in case there's ever a fire or flood, it's over there in this climate controlled storage unit, all the stuff from my career, the video work and everything, and records, CDs, sealed albums, reel-to-reel tapes. I mean, all kinds of stuff of all kinds of different music and lots of albums. So I used to spend many hours going through the stores and just listening. And I miss some of that. I miss some of that tactile touching and opening and, feeling and looking at the cover art and just the experience. It's the experience of it. I know we can go online and we can point and click and download and have it shipped, in 24 hours and have it here. But there was something about getting in your car and going and sampling and meeting people and just the whole experience, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, I know. I still make I mean, I made a vinyl. This vinyl was supposed to come out. I had a tour starting in
They're coming back too, LPs. Yeah.
yeah. March 9th was my first gig in Fort Lauderdale. And then I was supposed to be traveling Paris and London and Palm Springs and all over the place
I know.
and releasing a vinyl. And I have all these vinyls. And now I did one night and I got home on March 10th and that was it. So, but I made the vinyl because I first of all, Michel Legrand is the era of the vinyl, and he arranged 100-piece symphony. He would be thinking about what a record sounds like. That's his time. You talk about tactile.
Oh yeah.
So I made this vinyl. So when the world comes back, I'll have it, or I now sell it on my Instagram page. So there's some company that can ship it to people, but I know what you mean. And hi, Rob. That was such a nice visit. Oh,
Yeah, he added to it. He's Marianne Lopinto is here as well. I love to go into the store and buy. It's just looking at the recording. There may be something that does not show up. I've been buying online as well. That's cool. That's the experience. It's all about the experience. So if things get a little too crazy for you folks, if you're just trying to, chase those rainbows, just remember that happiness is just a thing called Joe.
that's right. Do you know Marianne, who was just there? She's a wonderful photographer.
Yes, she is. We've had several guests on actually, and they have shared some of her work on our show, some of the photos, and she's one of our lovely viewers as well. She's amazing, right? It's a small world, isn't it? It's really a small world.
Sondheim concert. She was at the Michel Legrand. I always remember because, well, first of all, we're friends, but she's always produces a lovely photo, and I'm always careful to give her a good photo credit because she's such a terrific photographer.
So let's take a look at Melissa and Lara and this wonderful musical. Wonderful duet here. This is Happiness is Just a Thing Called Joe. Enjoy, folks, and we'll be back. I'm Jim Masters, your host. You're watching the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. Put some cubes in your glass. Kick back with us. Melissa Errico is my very special guest. We'll be back. Enjoy the video.
Skies ain't gonna cloud no more, the crops ain't gonna fail. Caught a bluebird by the toe, a rainbow by the tail. A certain man with eyes that shine brightened up this heart of mine. It seems like happiness is just a thing called Joe. He's got a smile that makes the lilacs want to grow. He's got a way that makes the angels heave a sigh when they know little Joe's passing by. Sometimes the sky is gloomy and the table's bare, but then he'll kiss me and it's Christmas everywhere. Troubles fly away and life is easy go. Does he love me good? That's all I need to know. Seems like happiness is just a thing called Joe. 'cause the sky is gloomy and the table's bare. But then he'll kiss me and it's Christmas everywhere. Troubles fly away and life is easy go. Does he love me good? That's all I need to know. Seems like happiness is just a thing called Joe. Little Joe, my little Joe. Little Joe.
Really nice. Really absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
Gorgeous voice, which I've heard many times before. But I tell you, you could see that you were really so soaked up with it. I mean, you even being there along the coast, along the beach, like you said, your favorite beach. You're all in when you perform, aren't you? You're 110%, and you can tell when you do the beautiful work you do. That is such a, you really knocked it out of the park.
Oh, thank you. You know, I was alone. I was alone with a camera I don't even know how to use.
Well, you mean you set the camera up yourself on a tripod and filmed it?
I did my hair and makeup and I ran outside. I mean,
welcome to the new world.
Welcome to do it yourself. I didn't think.
Bravo. I mean,
we knew we were going to do like a video, but I mean, it was either a video in this room,
yeah,
at the desk, or I was, like I said, I had a little opportunity to be near a beach during the fall, and I was inside sitting in the windowsill. I don't know if you see, I was inside for a minute, and I literally just put the camera there. I think I rested it on something because I don't have like a tripod or anything, and I don't know how to use it. So I used the default settings, and there's my husband. Hello. Hi, honey.
Patrick McEnroe. Yeah.
Yeah. And Patrick McEnroe. We should probably talk about him a little bit. And
have him on as a guest. Love to have him. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you should completely have him on as a guest. He's a wonderful guest. So anyway, and then I looked outside and I said, oh wow, there's some sunset, you know, that's a great sunset. So I really took the camera and I went down and there was a wood thing and I put it on the wood thing.
Yeah. The wood thing.
I filmed myself. I mean, it was literally like,
and it looks like $1 million production.
If the makeup looks, whatever, that's.
And the lighting, sort of dusk, right? That really adds to the feeling of it, the depth and warmth of it, the timing of when you did it.
Yeah, so I recorded it in that same beach house, on this laptop, on GarageBand, on an ironing board. I'm not kidding, because
I've been there. I know. Yeah.
Because I wanted it near my mouth, and I realized that a desk is too low. I'd have to record like this, right?
Yep. Right.
So I got the ironing board, which is a little higher, and a couple of books, and I recorded on the ironing board, and then I had the GarageBand tracks. I knew the one that was, maybe take 4 or whatever it was. We weren't going to be doing much, like editing or making it fixed or whatever, that's terrible. You know how the thing about recording artists, it's like, that was awful. You can come in.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
They're going to
auto-tune and everything else.
Auto-tune and fix the whole thing. Well, without much of a group of any kind, I knew it was going to be take 4 or something. So I put that track in my iPhone. I shouldn't tell people this, but so then I go down to the beach with
you're authentic and you're real, Melissa.
I go down to the beach with the camera. I have track, whatever it is, 4 or something on my some kind of a file. I put it in the back pocket of my jeans. I did my own makeup, not very well, I think. And I went down to the beach and I pushed play and put it in my pocket. And I lip synced to myself. I sang lip synced to my camera from a whole bunch of angles and prayed for the best.
And you did a fantastic job. I mean, it really, nobody would have known.
The camera never moves or anything. There's no person there.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Go back and study it. It's on YouTube.
They will now.
Yeah, I even did one where I went down, on the floor on the step, because there were steps and a wood thing.
Yeah.
The wood thing had steps.
That wood thing saved you.
Well, you know what? The steps gave me lots of different levels.
Yes. Yes.
I did it low, and I did all kinds of artsy stuff of my feet, like walking. I thought maybe, but the guy was like, I'm not putting your feet in the video.
Yeah. Plus you were up against, the sun setting too. I mean, the sun was setting, so you wanted it to match, lighting, the timing.
It goes back and forth from like 6 o'clock to 5 o'clock, 5 o'clock, to someone comes with their dog. So I have to wait, But
now they appreciate what you went through to actually create that. You were the team of you.
And Laura
was fantastic too.
Laura was filming and she couldn't breathe because she did her filming when the fires were happening.
Oh, yeah.
She was having trouble breathing, but she did she performed it, and we used we used that footage that was done a little bit earlier in the fall. And then I did mine. We actually did 2 versions of it. We did one that was a little more of a spoof for the election.
Yeah.
And we used her footage for both these videos. And I had done one literally sitting at my desk. And then I wanted the holiday video, which turned out to be New Year's. I wanted it to have a sense of production. So I went to the beach, used the wood thing.
Well, it's a Long Island thing too. I'm from Long Island originally too. So surrounded by water, the ocean and the beach calls us, right? Calls our name. Just want to show you a couple of the fantastic comments coming in from our viewers all around the world watching us. And we welcome everybody. We hope you're having a good time. If you're watching for the first time, welcome. I'm your host, Jim Masters. This is the Jim Masters Show live entertainment lifestyle talk show series. We're here every night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific live. And my very special guest is wonderful singer, actress, extraordinaire, Broadway star, and so much more. Star of stage, screen, television, you name it. Wonderful Melissa Errico. And Juanita watching in South Africa says it's a great video. Well done. Kathleen in New York City. Wow, you did an amazing job. Amy says, beautiful voice. You got emojis of clapping and hearts from Kathy Short in Cleveland. Juanita also saying absolutely beautiful, which is really, really nice. And Ann Wozniak, who is in Florida, says beautiful. And Kathleen Walker says lovely. Willie, who's still with us at like almost 2, 3 a.m. in Holland, gives you claps and all kinds of cool emojis. Mary Bishop in Florida, wasn't expecting that. What a beautiful song, sung beautifully. Mona Greer, who's watching in Louisiana, beautiful voice, one of our great lovedies. Tesla Bella in Florida, from the moment you open your mouth and hit the first note, you had me smiling. Fabulous, Melissa. Really nice. And she also adds, Melissa, you are a gift, with the gift emoji as well. And Christine Clifton in North Carolina says, Melissa, you sure have an unbelievable career and opportunities, having roles in incredible shows. You're definitely blessed and so very talented. Terrific stories. I'm happy for all your happiness, which is really nice. Well, folks, we're going to treat you some more because we have Rainy Night House. This is another, tell us about this particular one.
Oh, this one's really cool. I just realized your listeners are really realizing what a kind of Long Island can do kind of type of gal I am. I'll get in the car, I'll make my own video. I never really lost my sense of kind of just do it.
Self-starter, right? That's a can-do attitude. I know what you mean. Yeah.
I have an Instagram page where I put all kinds of things like a cooking show, and I have a very low frills version of your talk show, which I did for a while with other artists and singers about the frustrations of being a singer, exclusively on that topic, called How Do We Go On Singing? But Yeah, really, I'm a bit of a can-do girl. But this next, it seems you have a clip of the
You performing that?
my
Yeah.
series, though, the series at FIAF with Adam Gopnik. This is a Joni Mitchell song, and this is from the series called Love, Desire, and Mystery, which is on those three ideas. What is love in France? What is love in both their literature and in their movies and in their psychology and in their philosophers? And Adam Gopnik, being this incredible intellectual and writer and lyricist, tells you all about it. And in Desire, we address what is desire. Desire can be everywhere. It's not just, it's different than love where you can hold it in your hand. Desire is like a liquid. It's everywhere. It flows everywhere. It's in what you eat and what you want to buy and who you want to love. And so we talk about desire. We're going to talk about mystery on May 6th. This is the song that was at the very kind of, they call it the 11 o'clock song, sort of the heart and soul of a Broadway show, this big number. This is a weird, wonderful song by Joni Mitchell, which is not a obviously French song, but Adam talks beautifully. You can get these shows on demand at fiaf.org. He speaks so beautifully about desire and about Joni Mitchell and her relationship with Leonard Cohen and its relationship to the French philosopher Camus. They had a kind of misunderstanding and an argument over Camus, and he speaks so beautifully about it. But also the idea of desire really comes out in this song. Joni was writing about her relationship with Leonard Cohen, and they are both very intense artists. And so you can hear in this song the power of insomnia and attraction and watching someone sleep. So when you think about desire, we are looking for songs that make you, again, what's the idea, but like get you to feel that idea. So I hope you get it here, because this wonderful Joni Mitchell song is Adam's absolute inspiration. And I love singing the songs he chooses for me. So this is a perfect example of his influence on my life, that he brings me such powerful, charming and entrancing songs. So this is a Joni Mitchell song from the concert series that I am in the middle of doing. So
what a beautiful and eloquent and on the mark intro. That was perfect. And now.
But let Joni say it, because Joni is a poet.
Great poet and
my best
storyteller.
to sing her music, but like what it is how you feel when you hear her music it's unmatched. It's just.
Well, in this, you certainly knocked it out of the park again. So we'll share it with our viewers. Enjoy, everybody. More of Melissa, and we'll be back to chat some more. So enjoy.
I am from the Sunday school. I sing soprano in the upstairs choir. You are a holy man on the FM radio. I sat up all the night and watched just to see who in the world you might be and what you might mean to me. You called me beautiful.
All right, nice little
I
clip they
realized
sent
it's
us.
a clip.
Yeah,
It's
just a little
just a
teaser,
clip.
but nice, beautiful,
It's just
really.
a clip. The producers want you to buy the on demand.
Yeah, just enough to whet the appetite, but to give people a real sense, because there, might be people watching this show live or later on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, and anybody that's watching, I encourage and welcome you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, for all these great episodes. And if you missed anything in this episode, you can see it all again and binge watch all the episodes. We have another clip too. This is a short one as well. This is Meadowlark. Short clip of that. Tell us about that one.
Oh, I probably should have begged the producers for the full performance. But anyway, again, you can get this on demand. It's just an hour concert. Meadowlark is one of the great songs in musical theater. It comes from a musical by Stephen Schwartz, who wrote Wicked and Godspell and so many great shows. But he wrote The Baker's Wife, and The Baker's Wife has a French background. The story is a woman, the baker's wife, who falls in love with a handsome man who loves her, and she doesn't feel passion in her marriage. And it's about Meadowlark is a story that she tells. If you get the whole concert, you'll get the whole song, but it's about a story she grew up with as a child of a bird, a meadowlark, who didn't live up to her life's dreams, and the bird dies. The bird dies like of a broken heart. And the baker's wife never forgot this child's story, because she didn't want to be that. She wanted to learn from the childhood story of the meadowlark and fly. So this is the song of a woman making a choice for her own happiness.
Very cool and beautifully said. And oftentimes that's what we need to do in life, is to make our own choices for our own happiness, because you can't always rely on others to bring the happiness. Sometimes you have to create it yourself. Meadowlark with Melissa Errico. Enjoy.
Come along, fly with me, my meadowlark, fly with me on the silver morning, past the sea where the dolphins bark. We will dance on the coral beaches, make a feast of the plums and peaches, just as far as your vision reaches. Fly with me.
Very, very cool. Fly with me.
Voice.
I know. It's just like,
Meadowlark's head mode.
that's the clip we have. I know. It's a teaser. Talk about a teaser. You just have a fantastic sound to your voice too. I mean, it sounds so warm and joyful, and there's a clarity and a depth to your sound. And I'm sure you've heard that before from others, but there's just there's a real uniqueness to the sound of your voice. Like I said, it sounds like you're so all in 110%, which I think is fantastic.
I'm pretty much all in. Yeah, I'm pretty much all in. I love to sing. I love music. I love to sing. And I love the FIAF series right now, because I feel like while we're all separated and we can't do musicals in the same way, we can't have a band and we can't be in a nightclub, I feel like these concerts, and I hope you'll rent it and you'll buy the live stream or whatever, because it's almost like a show, because we did it live, and we spoke and sang from our hearts and souls, and anything we can do to make it feel real, like we're not looking at a screen,
Right.
And that we're really there. Like I'm alive right now,
We
like,
are live. That's it.
right here,
We can't touch, but we can high five virtually.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah. Yeah, like I'm here and I'm on that stage at FIAF and I'm killing myself and I make a couple of mistakes here and there.
Right.
We chose not to pre-tape it and make it perfect. It's literally live as it can be. So I'm willing to do that, willing to work live, willing to tape myself,
There's
willing
something exciting about it live. There's an adrenaline, there's an urgency. I always love live television, radio, live stage. There's just something about it that you can't necessarily script. I mean, you can script, but when you just do it, because anything can happen, anything goes, and there's just this, you're really on when it's live because you have to give your A game. So for me, it's like a sport. It's the adrenaline is firing, all the cylinders are firing, and knowing that anything can happen and you got all this chaos going on behind the scenes and all around you. And I have had many times where I've been in studios or on location where things have really gone wrong technically with lighting or cameras or a co-host or whoever. And you've had to just stay out there and do your thing, right?
I love it. I love it. I'll tell you, I even like the live streaming because it's a little crazy. You have to be a little crazy to do it. And Ted Firth and I, and again, gifted by a wonderful script by Adam Gopnik, we did a Christmas special. And a Christmas special is even crazier than anything because you also want to I had on chef's hat. I was doing recipes. I was doing TikToks. I was doing anything to make you laugh. And I was doing a TikTok.
That's a good way to describe TikTok.
There's a move I already forgot. It's some kind of a move. And then you do the dice at the end. My kids taught me that. That looks pretty good on camera too. It's there because, So I was like the Andy Williams show, and I was flying people in. I flew Paolo Jot in, the great opera singer, and we did a duet. I mean, you have to be crazy to do what we're doing. I had him in one ear. Ted is playing. Ted said, I'm going to have to play the piano, so we're going to take the piano off Paolo's track. So Paolo, the poor thing, was singing, it was crazy. And I was harmonizing with him live on camera in this hot sequins dress, which I have in the closet over here. I didn't want to give it back. It's rented. I love it. It's so sexy.
He is to make everything look so smooth, effortless, and easy. I've always said that, but everything that it takes to pull things off, even like this show here, all that we have to do to pull this off nightly is beyond. It's crazy.
Beyond. Totally beyond. Yeah. You have no idea. I didn't even know what I was going to look like the night of the Desire concert because I didn't like something. So I threw a dress on and they're like, we're live. And, and I'm like, I'll be right there. I'll be right there. Really live TV is really exciting. So
yeah.
I've enjoyed
which your husband, which Patrick knows, being in sports,
a
pro tennis player and working for ESPN and covering tennis, and of course his brother. For those watching, her brother-in-law is John McEnroe, the incredible tennis legend as well, and tennis analyst. So there's a lot of energy in your family.
You know what? It's like a New York
McEnroe's. It's a whole New York energy. Yeah.
It's a New York energy. It's I get up and I do the anthem, and there's 50,000 or 20,000 people, and I'm nervous. And John looks at me and is like, "Well, you wanted to do it, so just shut up and do it." There's a kind of family ethos of just do it, and you win some, you lose some, and you play the next ball. You play the next game. There's a lot of the tennis thing is wonderful for me because you don't overthink everything. You just enjoy the game.
Right. So you do play as well?
Tennis? Well, I did more when we were dating.
I like that answer.
I did a lot of tennis when we were dating.
Did you get some pointers and some tips?
Well, I'll tell you, when our first, I sounded like Christine Ebersole right there from Grey Gardens. Well, I'll tell you.
Well, I'll tell you.
Well, I'll tell you. You know what? Because I've been playing so many characters in this room, and I did this girl from a dude ranch, and I basically imitated Chris. So all the characters are going to come out of my mouth now that I'm relaxed.
And I'm glad you're relaxed.
I mean, I was relaxed before, but now I've been here so long. Anyway, what was I talking about?
We were talking about whether or not you play tennis now, and did you pick up tips early?
I got a couple of tips. One tip was to relax your arm. And he used to say to me, Melissa, relax your arm, the ball will go faster.
Right.
And I remember being like, whoa, because I'm kind of philosophical about things. And and then another time he said to me, "Don't run to the ball. Let it come to you." And I
Right.
was like, "Whoa, I'll marry you." Yeah.
So that was real, pun intended, love.
It was love. And the tennis world was so interesting to me. I knew Patrick since I was a little kid.
Oh, really?
We grew up together in Long Island.
Yeah.
His mother saw me in My Fair Lady, and his mother told him to look me up. Can you believe this? And he looked me up. And
God bless his mother, right?
God bless her. She has departed this world, and so has his father. And I love them both as if they were my own parents. I love them so much. And
It's wonderful.
so it was a little bit of an arranged marriage because Mrs. McEnroe, I used to say, this is like an arranged marriage. And she used to say, yes.
Yes, it is.
Sure. She was very pleased. Yeah. She
That
was
is-
amazing, strong. And I actually am very grateful that I knew her, and I carry her inside. And I sometimes when I'm acting a character that I can't always relate to, but has a strength and a certain quality that maybe I don't have,
Yeah.
I think about her because she had so much character.
Yeah.
She
That's
was,
beautiful.
yeah, she had so much character, and she had so much natural strength and discretion and not self-control as much as just natural elegance.
Right, exactly. It's just it flows out as opposed to it being sort of structured or presented or created. It's just part of her, which is a beautiful thing.
A great New Yorker. She was a great New Yorker, like an elegant, great New Yorker. When she died, she was the president of the Cause Club in New York City, and she had been a nun. She wasn't a nun. She had been a nurse at Lenox Hill Hospital. My grandmother had actually been a nun. She was a nun. So Mrs. McEnroe came from one thing, and their lives went very well. And they were young in their early 30s. We have pictures of them together with my parents. We were all in grammar school together, and our parents were friends, the Italian family and the Irish family. So Mrs. McEnroe and my mother, rather different women, but also very grounded, very good mothers, and not from any fussy background, women of great character, very
Salt of the earth. Yeah.
Yeah. She was salt of the earth. My mother was more sugar.
And of course, we're going to talk more about some of the shows and things you've been in, but again, blessed with a wonderful marriage to Patrick and 3 lovely daughters as well, right?
Oh my God, they're so old now. This is hilarious. Yeah.
Cute shot.
Yeah, that's an adorable pic. You can see what the bunch of trouble I was in for a while. That was the years of the Bowery Babes. We all had children. We were all in the park together, and we were all just overwhelmed with both gratitude and the logistics of getting to know each child. I meant to say about my album cover having all the different flowers, that each flower is different. And the idea was that Kate was trying to say that no child is the same. And all the flowers of my record represent that each child is unique.
Mm-hmm.
And so each child needs to be listened to, acknowledged, appreciated for what they are. And each on the one who's got a kissy face there with the wild hair is Juliet. She's 12 now, and she's a ballerina, and she's tall and strong, has a beautiful singing voice. The girl in the middle is 14, and she's a tennis player. Her name is Victoria. She's about my height. So she's all grown up. And then Patrick is holding Diana, who's also a ballerina and 12 years old. They're twin girls. And she has redecorated her room this week. And,
really?
Yes. And it's much more pure and simple and plain. She wanted things more spacious, and she has a ballet bar. The girls have to do a lot of Zoom ballet. And so she's created a graphic designer's type of a room. Everything's empty. She cleared all the shelves. She hasn't figured out where she's putting everything, so it's all over the floor right outside her door in boxes and a big mess. But she's simplified her personal space. She's a fascinating, wonderful girl. They're all wonderful children. Each one is a powerhouse. It's impossible to describe, though. They don't look nothing like that anymore.
Yeah.
Do you know the book, of course, Little Women?
Sure.
My life at the moment, and I will forever, I really want this pandemic to end, but I will always acknowledge that this pandemic was, nice family photo, was the years of Little Women.
Yeah.
They're little women right now. They're in that amazing age. They're not women and they're not children. And so the pandemic has kept them very close to me at this very vulnerable and interesting time in their lives, you know.
Important time for you to be together, right?
Yeah, a good time to be together. I mean, it's never a good time for a pandemic, but they're strong enough to do their own schooling, to know who they are, to know this is a crisis, to know people need us, to make charitable gestures in their personal lives and in the bigger world. And also they're, they still like being home. They're not angry. They're not angry. So it's a hard time to be a parent. It's a hard time to be anything.
Have you baked a lot of bread during all of this and cleaned a lot of closets?
I baked a lot of bread, but then now I'm on the Whole30 diet. So,
well, from the beginning, they said we have to be 6 feet apart from each other and 10 feet away from our refrigerators.
Oh, I know. I put myself on a diet because I think it was too much. Well, it was the waffles and just everything.
All the good stuff and the childhood stuff. A lot of people were craving the things they had when they were kids. The foods we had when we were kids, and then going to the store and getting that too because it made you feel better. Which how many Pop-Tarts can you eat?
I love Pop-Tarts.
Yeah.
I think we're at the 1 year mark. We should start. We really have to take care of ourselves because we don't know really what's going on. And
right.
We are all in shock, but I think it's important. I'm trying to, we have to take care of our sleep. I know the gentleman who's still up. Willie, go to bed. Go to bed and you can watch this tomorrow.
Willie. I think Willie did. I just want to show it. We've got another great one here. Tell us about this one. What about today? Now, this was recorded live at 54 Below, right?
Yeah, this was recorded at 54 Below. This is a live record. I think this is just, I think it's maybe 2014 or 13.
Yeah.
Yeah. My children were really, really little. And I started to think of nightclubs in a way like my own theater. I wasn't able to do 8 shows a week. I wasn't really able to go back to a Broadway show. I did off-Broadway musicals and a lot of concerts. And this is just one wild, wonderful show that I did. And it's a live record. So it's a live record and it represents, the beginning of an amazing odyssey that I've had doing nightclub work. I love nightclub work. I can't wait to get back to nightlife.
I know.
I can't wait till people are drinking and together and we're laughing.
It's that whole social, communicative, communal atmosphere and experience that we're doing that here, but there's nothing like in person. There's
nothing like a band and Ted Firth. Just we're talking about being spontaneous on camera. Imagine on stage. I mean, we're taking huge risks, changing key, changing tempo, getting crazy. People are laughing. People are talking to me. There's noise. There's funny. You want to do it again because it felt so good. You do it again. And it's like. It's wonderful. It's wonderful to play a nightclub and to have a jazz band and a drummer, and they talk to you. When you really, the more you get experience, the more, almost wild it becomes. So I miss that.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Want to tell folks a little bit too about your illustrious film career. You've had an opportunity to be in films and on television and all kinds of cool stuff. I mean, I know you're really enjoying the ride. Tell us about this one.
Oh, Patrimony. That's funny. This is I believe it's a short film,
Mhm.
independent movie, and that's Robert Vaughn.
That's right.
Yeah,
Robert Vaughn.
yep, and he's Oscar, I think, nominated actor. He was
Yeah.
wonderful. This is a father-daughter story about an inheritance. It's a drama, and a wonderful thing to be a part of. This particular film, I was cast by a casting director who knew me for many, many years, and getting opportunities in film is exciting. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
felt I felt I could do a good job as his oldest daughter, and
Yeah.
dealing with the I don't want to give away the story, but
Yeah.
it's
But
a it's a struggle,
yeah.
and there's a family mystery that's revealed. You know,
Mm.
there's a Lover Boy. Yeah, this is directed by Kevin Bacon. This is a wonderful performance by Kevin Bacon's wife, Kira Sedgwick,
Oh, yeah.
wonderful actress,
Who
and
started on Another World, the soap opera.
she's
Yeah.
so gorgeous. Look at her. You have to turn your head to the side, but look at her. She's
Yeah.
just a wonderful woman. So
Yeah.
I played it was about a woman who was overly attached to her child,
Mm.
and it's kind of a warning about parenting and overparenting. You can see her
Over. Right.
hugging her teddy bear there. I played the child's second grade teacher, and I was advising her to create a little more space between her and the child.
Mm.
Oh, another teacher character. This is another teacher. Mockingbird Don't Sing was an independent movie that I filmed in which I played a linguistics teacher. Linguistics.
Mhm.
I can't even say.
Yeah.
This young girl in the picture was based on a true story. There's a book called Jeannie,
Mhm.
and sadly, this is the worst case of child abuse ever recorded in American history.
Mm.
She was actually found at that age and had never spoken to anyone. She had been isolated. And it's a true story and a fascinating story about language acquisition. Well, actually, not about language acquisition, but I became the teacher that had to help her learn to speak, and how much is possible at a certain age. There were limits to how much this child could learn, but it's a true story. And I played a woman who really existed from UCLA,
Mm.
a professor. So it's a little bit, Frequency. Oh, look at you with that movie.
I love your reactions. I love when the guests are like that shock value of like, "Oh, yeah, I was in that too. Oh,
Yes.
yeah, I forgot about that
The
one."
kids don't
I
even know any of these things.
I love the reaction.
This is a wonderful movie about time travel.
Mm.
Frequency. He changes an event in time and it changes everything. And I play Jim Caviezel's girlfriend and wife. And what happens is we're breaking up at one point. We're having this big relationship. And then once the events in time have changed, he comes to me. I'm a graduate student. I'm at Columbia University, I think, and I'm in the library. And he comes to talk to me. And I turn and look at him, and I've never met him before because now we've never met. So the events in time having changed means that I don't recognize this man, and it scares the daylights out of the audience and out of the character.
That sounds like a cool one too.
Mhm.
How about picture this?
Where you found this one? This is another independent movie.
Yeah.
This is you're about an Upper East Side girl who's unhappy in her family, and she starts getting wild. So this is like think of a girl who goes to Dalton or Spence who starts to snap.
Mhm.
She decides to experiment with being a hooker.
Mm.
And she gets herself into a little bit of a wild side of New York. That's Christian Camargo there. He's a wonderful
Oh,
filmmaker.
yeah. Sure.
He's gone on to have a wonderful career. So this was about an Upper East Side girl who was acting out and got herself into some dangerous water.
Mm. Really cool. Amy said that she saw Frequency and she loved Frequency.
Thank you, Amy.
Cool. Very, very cool. Again, like I say, the variety of roles and the variety of things you've had an opportunity to participate in throughout your career. Another one here.
Oh my God. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
This is that's Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen, right? Yeah.
It's quite
Yeah.
clear what I'm doing in this one. I guess
Acting,
I had
acting.
I had a
You
period of my life.
there was a period piece, and she
Yeah,
was
it was
acting.
it's the 90s.
Television, and yeah,
Television, billions, billions. Of course.
that's really popular too. Tell us about the involvement with Billions.
Well, I'm just a part of the story. In the beginning, the central characters, as you know, uh, runs an investment bank and is not an honorable guy. And Paul Giamatti, the police officer there at his side, is chasing him down for all his ill deeds. That investment bank was founded by two best friends, one of whom knew of all the duplicitous things. That was my husband. He dies in 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
I know all the duplicitous things that have gone on. My husband is dead. And I start to try to bring him down, and they shut me down, and they shut down my life. They shut down everything. They cancel my Soul Cycle membership, but then they cancel my ability to get a golf course,
Golf
whatever
membership, or yeah.
I can't get a tea time or whatever it's called. I don't golf, but I go to have an appointment, and they suddenly my membership's no good, and then my son doesn't get into Stanford, and they start to slowly destroy my life. And I write a book, a tell-all book, and that does it. And they really destroy my life, and I start to fear that my whole life is going to fall apart, and they make me sign a non-disclosure thing to shut me down forever. And they give me back my son's acceptance at Stanford. But it's a power thing. And I lose, and I'm out. But I could always come back, because I do know what Paul Giamatti needs to know. I ran into him in a Union Square at some point. He goes, my character needs to know what your character needs to know. Call me. I'm here. The Nick. This is was a wonderful historical television show about medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Clive Owen is so powerful. You can see that in the picture, but he learned a lot about surgery from the chief of surgery, which was my husband. And they all become addicted to drugs, as many surgeons did. And my husband, because of the pressures of being a surgeon, he commits suicide. And so I'm not in the story very long, the series very long, a couple of episodes, but I warn Clive about drugs and how will we know that this won't happen to you.
Right.
So I'm a widow, and it's a sad thing. I'm at the funeral and crying, and Steven Soderbergh was the director. It was quite wonderful.
One of my favorites on CBS. You were on an episode of that too, huh?
I don't believe this, but I played a Hasidic woman for this. And in my can-do type
spirit,
I showed up at the audition dressed like a Hasidic woman. A stylist friend of mine had seen me that week, and I said, what should I wear to this audition to be Hasidic? She delivered the whole costume to my house, the pearls, the thing for that, the black thing under the other thing on the color, the skirt to the perfect length, the perfect blouse. And I literally walked into the audition, dressed the role, because this poster gives you no idea what I looked like. I looked truly Hasidic, and it's quite fascinating. I studied by going into their neighborhoods and watching the women and the families. And so it was a big murder plot, but a very big part. And I was so thrilled to do it and to study.
Your nun grandmother would have been amazed.
I know, right. That was a wonderful story.
Another popular one.
These are guest star roles.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to guest star on these shows. I'm not going to oversell my involvement in these shows, but another show, quite an honor to be a part of it. And I was able to be a lawyer named Isabel on this. And I think the theme was third-party defamation, which I was an expert at on that day.
Mm. Yeah.
I can't tell you anything now, but
Yeah.
I remember those words, and
Yeah.
I remember I had wonderful suits, as she has always a beautiful suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Here's
I
another
used to
great
see her in
one.
the park. I used to see her in the park. Oh, this is wonderful because what was his name? John Benjamin Hickey was one of the patients of this doctor, played by Patrick Wilson. And my husband had a brain tumor, and I was the wife at the bedside. But working with John Benjamin Hickey was absolutely wonderful. And by the way, do you recall that I was saying that I filmed my music video on the beach and someone walked by?
Yeah.
And John Benjamin Hickey was one of the people who walked by.
Oh my God.
So you never know who you're with one minute with the brain tumor in a television show, and then you'll be chatting with them somewhere else. Actors' lives are fascinating, and
It's amazing, isn't it?
it was the last time I saw him, I was crying, and he had his head wrapped in gauze.
Yeah. So I say it's such a small world, such a small world.
Yeah.
Here's another cool project you were involved in. Again, showing the variety and the depth and breadth and scope of your abilities and your talents, Melissa, which are great.
Oh, Bull Durham. I loved this show. This is a wonderful Broadway musical that didn't come to Broadway, but it had the world premiere at the Alliance Theater in Atlanta. An absolutely gorgeous theater and a gorgeous show. This is the famous Susan Sarandon role.
Mm-hmm.
Something of an English teacher who reads Walt Whitman to the ball players to get them into bed or to teach them something about life. So a kind of sexy intellectual.
A sexy intellectual. I love that description.
Mm-hmm. I love playing her.
Yeah. Here's another cool one.
This is sexy. This is a Sondheim musical called Passion.
Yeah.
I played Clara, and for me, this was about motherhood and the complexities of motherhood and one's erotic life. And
yeah.
So Clara tried to. I can't believe there was a photo taken right up my nostrils. I never really got such a good look at it. It's so strange, that it's accept that it looks okay, but look at it, really is my nostrils. But anyhow, so Clara was a mother.
The things that we notice that nobody else notices until we mention it, and then now they're looking at your nostrils.
No, it's a nostril photo. Okay. Clara was a mother. Anyway, Clara's
versatility.
in the 1830s, and she has this hot relationship with a soldier, and she wants it to go on. And after a while, he doesn't want to have appointments. He wants more love, and she's given him. They have an apartment. They have all this, personal time together, but he wants more. So she can't give up her child. So it's a wonderful story. A love triangle competing for this hot soldier.
Right.
Well, the poster, I get him, but to be honest, the other girl, her nostrils should be on the cover because she ends up getting him, but she dies and she doesn't have as good costumes as I do.
Well, to show again more of this versatility, you were going from that to White Christmas.
White Christmas. I told you I like Christmas shows.
Yeah.
This is my chance to play the Rosemary Clooney role in White Christmas on Broadway and wear the famous dress known as Big Red. That dress has a name, Big Red. For the other actresses who have worn it, have to wear Big Red.
And we don't see any nostrils here.
No, it's all clavicle and
happiness.
And I just love that dress. I'll tell you, if you put me in a good dress like that, I'm going to get a smile for days.
Happy. Yeah.
For days. Yeah.
Here's another from on stage.
This is recently.
Yeah.
This is just before the pandemic. My most recent stage part.
Clear Day. Yeah. Tell us about this.
This is based on, this is On a Clear Day, You Can See Forever.
Forever, right.
A movie was based on this.
Mm-hmm. And of course the song. Yep.
Barbra Streisand did the film.
Mm-hmm.
It's about a girl in the 60s, 1960s, who goes to a hypnotist. And when she's hypnotized, her voice changes and she becomes Melinda with a British accent and goes back in time. And the hypnotist finds out that she had a past life.
Mm.
A wonderful story written by Alan J. Lerner about time, not time travel as much as past life regression therapy. And our past lives, did we have a past life? And Alan J. Lerner was exploring more paranormal type things later in his career, was very interested in why we forget our keys and then suddenly they're in our pocket, but they weren't there before, or something like that. When weird stuff happens, Alan J. Lerner is a very interesting man. He wrote My Fair Lady. And again, this was one of the themes of one of my articles in the Times. Not just My Fair Lady, but Alan J. Lerner's oeuvre, all his work, and how do you interpret it and how to keep it fresh when some of it's kind of sexist,
Right, exactly.
Sexist, yeah.
There's another cool one.
This is a Sondheim musical. This is Do I Hear a Waltz? I feel like I'm on a game show. It's like, can you remember? Do you remember your career?
I remember your career. This is your life.
There will be a time where I'm too old to know what the heck you're doing.
So just rewatch this episode.
I hope it's not too long, but this is Do I Hear a Waltz? And this is Leona. Leona was an American girl about my age, and she had never been to Italy. And she'd never really done anything. She'd raised her brothers and sisters. She'd been a woman taking care of other people and planned a holiday for herself, went to Italy and met this man, absolutely smitten with him. And this is one of the dates where it's going well. But when she finds out he's a married man, she's absolutely crushed. Absolutely crushed. So she is a complicated girl who's waited too long to take care of herself.
Yeah. Yep. There's another great one here too.
This is Thomas Jefferson and his girlfriend, one of his many girlfriends, I think.
Yeah.
Maria Causeway. This is a true historical story. And Maria Causeway was an Italian. She was a harp player and a painter and a songwriter and a singer. And this is such a wonderful story, Jim.
Yeah.
Thomas Jefferson's love letters with Maria Causeway began when they were young and went all the way through to the end of their lives. They were pen pals their entire life. So there was a chemistry between this great American man and this artistic Italian noblewoman. Vibe between them. And she became a teacher, ran a school late in her life, but they loved each other. And if you look through the love letters, you'll see such passion and connection. So
yeah,
you can't always have the person you love, I think was what this play was about. You can't always have the person.
Yeah.
But you can love them with all your heart. Well, this is Oliver.
Yeah.
This is Oliver. This is a one night only with an orchestra. And that's Brian Stokes Mitchell playing, you have to help me with the character's name. Anyhow, this is Oliver and I'm playing Nancy. And that's Jim Barber playing my abusive boyfriend, holding the other hand. And I got to sing As Long as He Needs Me. And a wonderful, amazing play. I think Oliver should be done again. That young boy playing Oliver, must be a little older now, was so good.
Yeah.
So this was one night only. I believe this is a photograph of dress rehearsal because the children are not dressed. The children are still in their t-shirts. So this must be dress rehearsal. But absolutely wonderful one night only on Broadway at the Schubert Theater opportunity to tell that story.
Here's another wonderful shot of you doing your thing with great pleasure. I think that's Legrand, right? When you're doing that.
Michel Legrand Memorial in looking at the dress. That's London. And I'll tell you why I know it's the Royal Festival Hall in London, because I remember that dress is made of lace. And
Is it the Royal Albert Hall?
I think this particular night is Royal Festival.
It's the festival. Yeah.
we had a couple of performances in different venues, but this is Royal Festival Hall. I know because there was a funny backstage video at Royal Festival Hall that someone took of the great actress Maria Friedman catching me right before I went on stage because a spare brassiere of mine had gotten caught on the back of the dress. And the hook had hooked on the lace, and I was about to make this entrance in this magical thing with this big bra and a nude color bra attached to my tush. And there was a very accomplished jazz, I think it was Ian Shaw is his name. He's a very accomplished jazz pianist. He was making a instrumental
version.
He turned his cell phone on and took pictures of me with the bra, laughing, screaming, about to go on stage. Maria Friedman howling at me, and the whole thing was caught on video. And so I excuse me for telling such a
No, hey, they're learning. That's
and then I go out and be quite serious and sing this beautiful song, you know.
Yeah, that's incredible. The full orchestra and all, and that's nothing like, you know, doing that on stage backed by a full orchestra, huh? There's just something.
And that's a swing band orchestra. That's all brass. You can see they were really loud. Michel Legrand loved swing and loved the brass instruments. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. You mentioned the hair being straight today because you had to do, you know, the auditioning and all, but here's when it's not.
Yeah, I usually look like that. Today I'm dressed with straight hair because, as I said, I had an audition for a television series, my third audition in the last 2 days. Today I had to play insider trading of some kind, but I'm someone capable of physically torturing you. So I wore a black turtleneck and my hair like sticks, you know, kind of looking wicked, you know.
Cool shots there, yeah.
So thank you. This is a lovely photo shoot with Jenny Anderson, who works for the New York Times, and these are just portraits. So nice.
So you're working on some cool projects now, some cool things that you have coming up. Some, you know, there's things you can't necessarily say because there's things that have developed even today and yesterday. And that's really great. I mean, you really got your feet in the game. And like you said, you like to do things based on how you feel and, you know, what the project's all about, as opposed to just it's another project, it's another project. You like to do and work on things, whether it's music, film, television, projects that really matter and I think leave really positive impacts on people, gets them thinking, not only being entertained, you know, from the commercial value of entertaining, but where you question life and you think about things and maybe even look in the mirror and sort of reassess your own life. And that's really cool to have that opportunity to do work like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I go moment to moment, but right now I've been very grateful, first of all, for my health, for my husband's health. The coronavirus came through here right away. I was very glad to see him come through that within a month. And I've spent this year taking care, number one, of the girls and protecting their childhood and their education and their dancing and their tennis and things that they like to do, their relationships as best we can, have socially distanced things. We've had tailgate sort of party things where one child is in their car, in the back of the car, and comes to our house and we open the back of our car and they sit far apart and they watch a movie. You know, it's like a weird sleepover that's outdoors in cars, and we did that, all kinds of crazy things just so that my children are happy and don't get totally isolated. And
how have they been dealing with that, you know, the being at home? And because I know they say some kids are having a tough time because they can't necessarily get together with their you know, their playmates, their friends, their buddies, whatever it may be. They're doing well. You're really keeping them entertained and you know, just connected, right?
I am. I'm keeping them very busy. There is Zoom guitar. We have Zoom ukulele. My oldest daughter is taking an extra Zoom class, but I try to let them take walks with kids and go places outside with the mask on. They're adapting very well. And I have had, you know, not insanely 5 things in a day, but every week I've had some wonderful creative thing that I've either done, like with Laura, or I've done other recordings. Like you said, I have some other work coming up. I have this concert series with FIAF. I love them. I'm going to be curating a film noir festival actually this spring in conjunction with the mystery concert. So the work at FIAF, which is called FIAF, FIAF, that wonderful organization on 60th Street does such good, interesting work. So I'm happy to be a part of that. I was thrilled to do a holiday concert. I was thrilled to do Meet Me in St. Louis, a green screen musical right here in this room against a screen that was green, and a musical with an orchestra and a full cast. So I've taken it day by day. I've done readings with the new group and responded to any requests like your interview showed to make connections with people and to just keep life new, so that we're not just watching old shows, but that I'm right here again, right here. High five.
Yeah. And you have water or something. We could toast. We always toast all our guests too.
I know. And I know that in future I'll bring something a little more impressive than water.
Well, hopefully we will get together in person and break bread. That would be amazing. I would love to do that with all of you.
Yes, thank you. And this was a very long interview. I'm sure people will have to watch the second half.
Oh, they're with us to the end. This crowd is always engaged with it, which I think is fantastic. And now they've had an opportunity to really learn a little bit more about the person as much as the talented individual that they hear, that they see. And that's the kind of atmosphere we tend to like to create. It's bringing back that lost art of good, solid conversation and a warm and inviting atmosphere, and nothing scripted. Some guests will say, hey, are there it's not really an interview. It's a conversation where we all learn. But some people say, oh, do you have pre-prepared questions? And said, nope, we don't have a teleprompter. We don't have pre-prepared questions. We'll have a nice conversation and we'll meander in and out of your life, your career, your passions, your enthusiasm, the lovely viewers watching, and we're all, sort of in this, on this journey together, which I think is really, really fantastic because it makes it so relatable for everybody. I mean, the audience constantly learns something new. They're entertained, they're informed. And again, it allows somebody like you to open and emote and share some really cool things like you've done. So yeah,
you got some stories nobody ever got.
I hear that all the time. And it's in my professional work too, on television, radio, I hear that a lot. And I'm going to
listen to this later because
watch it.
I will watch it rather.
Share the link and everything.
Yeah, I will. And as I've been writing these essays, and I also work for a magazine, my dream at some point is to write a book, something like a memoir, but
very nice. Yeah.
But maybe something with a little bit more of a dream in it, like Anais Nin or something. But if I need any facts or memories now, I have this.
It's a treasure, right? Exactly. And you and I are obviously good, solid conversationalists, which is a great thing. And again, it's just, I'm actually, the analogy I use is like a great tennis match, back and forth, and it's really warm and conversational. I want to show you some of the comments coming in from our lovely viewers. Anne says, this has been an amazing, very entertaining evening. Thank you, Melissa, for sharing so much of your awesome life with us. Juanita, who's watching in South Africa, where it's already tomorrow. It's already late night Friday for her. This was a fantastic conversation, Melissa. Thank you for spending time with us and sharing your talents and your stories. Kathleen Walker, who is in New York. Melissa, thanks for sharing all your stories. Love it.
Thank you.
Mary Bishop saying, very nice meeting you, Melissa, you and your family. Take care. So really Kathleen's been asking this one. She loves all the photos we showed. Do you have a favorite role of the roles, whether it's stage, film, television? Is there one that's really coveted to you? That's like, boy, that's the one that it really speaks to me.
I think it's Dot in Sunday in the Park with George, which was a Stephen Sondheim musical.
Yeah.
I stood in that show and I looked at Raul Esparza and I looked at Rob Berman one day. We were not in performance yet. And I looked at Rob, I looked at Raul, and I just burst into tears. It's everything I ever believed in. It's art history. It's Sondheim. It's gorgeous. It's Bernadette. It's, I could do a cartwheel.
Yeah, that's quite amazing.
It had it all. And it was the story of creative genius and restlessness. And it asks the story, can you be an artistic person and have a domestic life, a personal life? Can you love and also be a creative soul? And that's the question of it. We all can answer that for ourselves. What our dreams are as artists, our dreams are, and the actual truth of family life. The show touches me so deeply, and it's aesthetically so beautiful, and Sondheim so wonderful. So that's my choice.
And what's amazing about that, you've been living that as well, being able to balance the professional career with a wonderful marriage and children and a home and family life, and to be able to do that and to be able to tend to all the different areas and make sure all are fertilized and nurtured is an amazing thing. So I think there's a lot of relatability for you with that role as well.
The song I've become kind of not known for, but I've been doing a lot. And in the pandemic, I've been asked to sing that song here for Sondheim's birthday and for other things, is the song Children and Art. And it's a song about the two important things that we can leave behind when we depart this world are children and art, says Sondheim, says the character. And it's the most beautiful song. If anyone leaves here and listens to one song on my album, Sondheim Sublime, go on Spotify and get Children and Art, because that's my life. And I haven't sorted it out yet, but that song is so beautifully crafted by Mr. Sondheim, and I love it. And it's my motto. It's my riddle. It's my heart song.
That's a cruel expression that your eyes have there in that shot. It's just a really cool, there's a confidence there, a real confidence, life well lived in that. That's what I'm getting by looking at the shot, just the way the silhouette, the lighting, the black and white, there's a real confidence and peace there in your eyes in that shot. Do you see what I'm seeing there? Yeah.
Well, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that photograph was taken by Brigitte Lacombe, who is one of the greatest photographers in history. And so that's a very unusual thing. I had a photograph by Brigitte Lacombe, and she gave me two, and she usually only gives you one. And she doesn't let you see any of the ones she's taken. She gives you one, and that's it.
Yeah.
She gave me two. One was in one of my stories and my album cover. I was very lucky. So thank you for what you said about the picture, but also she is iconic and she captures people. And I was so blessed to have that portrait session with her.
Absolutely. I want to show you a couple more comments coming in. Somebody by the name of Patrick McEnroe.
He probably wants me to put the kids to bed.
No, he says, you both inspired me. Headed to the basement to record the podcast. Awesome stuff. You too.
That's code word for I have to work now.
Yeah. Patrick, thank you very much. I appreciate it. It was fantastic having you here as well. As a broadcaster, very much a fan of his work too. He's really terrific. So calm, cool, and collected, as a broadcaster, and some crazy moments sometimes in television. You can see him on ESPN. He's really amazing. And of course, former pro tennis player, his brothers, John McEnroe, of course.
He was also the Davis Cup captain for the United States and the Olympic captain, but he was the Davis Cup captain for the longest reign, or whatever it's called, in of any American coach.
Yeah.
It was about 11 years. And it was his dream in his life. When I met him, we were rather young, and he always wanted to be Davis Cup captain, and he was only 33 when he got the job, and he did it forever.
Yeah.
He loved it. He loved to be a coach.
Yeah, he's terrific. And hopefully Patrick will have you on as a guest as well. And he goes, girls are fine, Mom. Don't worry. He's a very reassuring personality, and I love when he and John are on together and the banter and everything. It's you can tell the great brother relationship between the two. It's awesome when they're on together. Amy says, wonderful show. Loved learning about your life, Melissa. Marianne, our wonderful friend. Melissa, I hope we will be seeing each other soon. Thank you for those sweet words. Mary Bishop in Florida. Very nice meeting you, Melissa. You and your family take care. Yeah, I was going to ask, what are some of the things, the blessings and joys in your life that inspire you? But obviously you're surrounded by many. But from your take, what are some of the things that really fill your cup and fill you on a daily basis to want to continue being connected, being creative, and delivering all this wonderful talent for, the good of everybody else?
One thing that's empowered me my whole life is female friendship. I don't even know if that's what you're asking, but if I think a lot about what carries me through day after day, not only the love of my children and my family, but my female friends. I love having friends, and I like sticking by them. I like following their lives. Our lives have been complicated already. And so female friendship matters a lot. My parents, their well-being, connecting with them, calling them, making sure they're safe right now, and creativity in general, knowing that the creative people out there are sad, are suffering, are not working all the time. Anything I can do when I'm on Instagram, if I see a dancer who's having a bad day, a good day, I always put a good comment out there. Our lives were important, and now they're important, but we're not as important as the essential workers or the medical workers and so on. And all of us have been put on something like a hiatus. We've had to adjust, find other ways to be heard, to express ourselves. But it's very important to me to recognize other creative people, to create collaborations, to create positive feelings, to put comments out there. If Max von Essen is singing or someone is singing on their Instagram, I'm so happy to hear their voices. I don't want people to shut down. I don't know how long this is going to last, but what really matters to me are those connections. So my female friends, my family, other creative people, and encouraging them, because that's what I know. I know what they're feeling. I don't know what everyone's feeling. And I'm sure every profession, everybody's going through a lot. I only know that I see dancers, famous dancers, posting pictures of themselves on the floor, looking at the ceiling, saying, I'm not the dancer I used to be. It's killing me. And I know what they're feeling. And I guess someone would look at that and say, oh, they're just dancers. Shut up.
Right.
I bleed for them. And so I live to keep, hopefully, the whole circus going, not just my own act.
Exactly right. There's a lot of anxiety and depression that's happening out there right now because people aren't able to do what they want to do or are able to do and love doing and have trained to do in so many different ways. But hopefully we see some light at the end of the tunnel here, and we're working towards that. We just all have to be unified together. One thing that I've said multiple times on this show is I'm hoping that through everything that we've gone through, pandemics, economic, the political craziness, the societal unrest, everything that we're dealing with all collectively at the same time, I'm hoping that we sort of rise to the occasion through it all, and we listen to one another more and maybe show some more compassion and some more understanding, more empathy towards one another, and invite everybody to the table. I'm not really a super extreme person. I'm somebody who brings that extreme there and that extreme there and brings them together. And let's work it out. Let's try to find different ways. We might not all get everything that we want, but at least if we can come to the table and sort of unify, the the world, the earth continues to spin on its axis a lot more smoother when things are a little more balanced and unified, and when there is true compassion shown to one another, because nobody knows what is happening to somebody's life, what they've just gone through or what they're experiencing. And maybe we were chasing a little bit too much of some of the superficial things in life. And now this has been a stop moment, a pivotal moment in our lives where, maybe Mother Nature, planet Earth, and the divine came together and said, all right, everybody stop, knock off the nonsense. We're going to throw some big things your way and see how you manage through it. And are you going to be worse for it? Or are you going to be better for it? And I don't think we're going to return necessarily to a normal. I'm hoping we achieve a better out of everything that we've all been going through individually, collectively. And it's been an extraordinary experience. They're going to be talking about this in the history books in perpetuity, but it's been a real learning, teachable moment, hasn't it?
Yeah. There's no right way to respond to this. Yes, I've been productive in some ways. Other people maybe have been depressed or frozen, or there's no right answer on how to deal with something like this. I think this brings up two reactions. You get either maybe more determined, or you just release and you say, I can't right now. And that's okay too. I think for me, right away, I turned on my iPhone and I started cooking. I'd never had to cook before. I was on the road with Ted. I was doing shows. I was singing French music in a dress and everything. Suddenly, Ted never asked me to make him dinner, and yes, I have 3 kids, but I wasn't making much dinner. I honestly, suddenly everybody's home. Everybody's scared. I turned on my instinct was to turn on my telephone, my iPhone, and tell people that chicken cacciatore is not that hard. And people were laughing. I had a little too much wine. I turned on my iPhone and I'm in my kitchen telling people chicken cacciatore is overrated. It sounds fancy. And suddenly I'm doing a cooking show in the middle of the second or third week in March. Patrick is sick in the basement. My instinct was to turn on the phone. That's okay. That was my instinct. Right. My instinct was to share, to sing, to give, to be stupid, to do pratfalls in my kitchen, to start singing to Sondheim while I was cooking. I had an apron. I was eating too much. I was drinking a little. The kids.
Yeah.
I was trying to hold up the fort, and I publicized it.
Yeah. But that's a cool thing, because you know how many people saw that and see that, and they are lifted by it, inspired by it, calmed by it.
Yeah.
So you did. You rolled up your sleeves and you rose to the occasion, and I think I can identify with that, because people say, boy, Jim, you're always so calm, cool, and collected in all types of environments, in a crazy TV studio, or if somebody drops on the floor and has a heart attack in front of me, and all of those things have happened. I tend to be level-headed, calm, cool, collected. I shut my emotions off, roll up the sleeves and say, okay, call the ambulance, get their luggage. Everybody else is screaming, yelling, and panicking or freezing in place. And I'll be rolling up the sleeves and negotiating in my mind. Okay, we cannot panic. The screaming doesn't help. We have to tend to this situation right now to get past it and to help the situation. So as much as I loathe chaos and craziness, I'm really good in it, because it's like you get thrust in it. So you look for ways to sort of get through it. And it sounds like you're like that too. When something happens, hey, you know what? We're going to take lemons and we're going to turn it into lemonade. And that's a great way to live life.
I just worried about everyone out there. And I just sort of thought, I'll turn my phone on, and if they want to, cook with me or send me pictures of their chicken marsala, I'd be happy to look at it. And it was how I connected. I did the same thing when I was pregnant. I brought women together, and it's just an instinct. I don't want anything from it. It's just what I did. And a lot of people are doing that. Seth Rudetsky is doing an amazing thing every day with Stars in the House, and Jim Caruso has a wonderful show.
And Marianne says she's never washed so many dishes in her life.
I know, Marianne, I hear you. Or clothes or anything else. Yeah. So much to clean. the floor,
Yeah.
the toilets.
Well, I was saying that, for me, doing this kind of work for a living, that back in April when we launched the show, like 300 episodes ago, the planes weren't really flying. So I was supposed to be in Ireland and Texas, Florida, all these different places for these TV shoots. And for years, people told me to create a show like this as an extension to my professional work I've done all these years in television and radio. And I said, you know what? What's a better time than now to bring in the TV lights and, create the home studio and and do it, just see where it goes and just do it. And it's been continues to be a blessing and a joy as much as it is a lot of work. But again, similar to what you're talking about, taking this opportunity to try to inspire people and lift them up and connect and have some levity, lots of fun along the way, and just enjoy the process and see where it goes, right?
Yeah. You're doing a great thing. And thank you for having me. And so now some of my weird little stories are out there.
They were awesome. They were fantastic.
Maria Friedman finding my bra and my dress, I don't know if I knew where I'd be this. Can I tell you? I don't even know what month it is. I don't even know what I was.
It is February, the end of February. March is Monday.
I was supposed to be doing a symphony tour right now. Yeah.
So when March hit and everything started closing, what was the last thing you were doing?
March 9th, I had my first performance of this. When I was releasing this vinyl, I was taking this record on the road to, I did one night in Fort Lauderdale, and I was about to do Lincoln Center, then Paris, London. Well, actually, it was more like Paris, Palm Springs, back to London. I don't know who planned this, but I was, there was Las Vegas. It was as if someone was trying to drive me crazy. San Francisco, I think one of those were connected. And I had a tour at Provincetown and Cape Cod and East Hampton and different summer venues. So I was due to do a concert tour of Michel Legrand's Broadway and film songs.
Yeah.
And so the concert series at FIAF, I always sing some songs by Michel Legrand and with Adam Gopnik. And so everyone can check those out as on demand, fiaf.org. And then there'll be one more on May 6th. So the tour didn't happen, but a miniature version of it is happening as we speak. So
that is really, really cool. Amy says you are a true lovety, Melissa.
Thanks, and there's Mrs. Lovett from Sweeney Todd from Sondheim. So maybe there's a Mrs.
connection.
Lovett. Yeah, I could maybe do an act for you at some point.
This was awesome, really. And I hope that the show met whatever expectations you had, my friend. And you're definitely welcome back anytime. We don't have to chat this long. People really got an opportunity to learn more about you and appreciate you as well. And
let me say goodbye to you with one or two sentences sung by Mrs. Lovett.
Oh, fantastic.
Because they're perfect for the pandemic. And it's a nice way to say goodnight. Nothing's gonna harm you, not while I'm around. Nothing's gonna harm you, no sir, not while I'm around. Demons will charm you with a smile for a while, but in time, nothing can harm you. Not while I'm around.
Bravo, bravo. Beautiful, beautiful. Acapella in your little studio there. I mean, that was great, great acoustic. That was fantastic. And that was a surprise, everybody. We didn't know she was going to share that levity with us, but that was fantastic, my friend. I hope we do get a chance to get together in person. That would be wonderful. And yes, love to have Patrick on the show as well. You're amazing. Again, you really are. And
call me, I'll set it up.
Yeah, we'll set it all up.
Where he lives.
I was going to say, have you ever, if somebody came up to you and said, gee, you would be great to star in a sitcom, would you ever do that? Because you do have this true comedic element to you, which I can identify with. It's fantastic.
Sure. A sitcom. Yeah. As long as the guy's funny, and, like the nanny or some kind of thing, like a crazy girl in Bronxville doing all her self-tapes in her house. Actually,
That's it. Could be a whole show on that.
I have a show in my head now. All of a sudden, this
See?
crazy woman, this mother dressed
That's
like with her hair up, like singing in her room, in a pandemic. All right. Well,
Crazy stuff. Well, I toast you again.
Long enough from a network, call me.
That's it. That's it. Give her a shout.
Cheers, Mr. Masters.
Thank you, Melissa. Again,
Cheers.
we really appreciate it. You have a wonderful night, and I hope you enjoyed the time with me as much as I have with you.
I sure did. Thank you.
You're a blast. Have a good night. Take care now. Bye-bye. Even the dog barked. Perfect timing. That was on cue. That was on cue. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Amazing. Melissa Errico. She was tremendous. A delight and a breath of fresh air, and multi-talented. And what's cool about what we did tonight is you got a chance to learn more about her live here on the Jim Masters Show live. And of course, her husband, Patrick McEnroe, commenting as well. He's amazing. And again, he's also an ESPN analyst and former tennis pro and so much more. And it was a pleasure. Hope to have him on the show too. It would be a blast to talk about him and his career and cool things he's working on. And as a broadcaster myself, TV broadcaster, I'd love to learn about some of the things he does. Got a lot of friends actually that work at ESPN. So yeah, isn't she a delight? She's a real hoot. She's very talented. And it was a blast. Nice, good conversation, a solid conversation with Melissa. And that's what we do. We're bringing back the lost art of conversation. We don't rush through. We don't force anything. We don't pre-script anything. We just let it ride, and wherever it goes, it goes. And that's quite unique because a lot of times, many conversations or shows are very highly edited, or, you're on for like a half hour and it's rushed and they ask usually typical questions and blah, blah, blah. So in this case, we get a chance to really let it ride, have fun, delve deep and explore. And I learned something, you learned something, we learned something about each other and about the guest as well. Some great stories about some of the albums too, that she really detailed for us, which I thought were fantastic. And check out again all of her material on Spotify. Of course, she's on the internet and all social media. These are just some of the things we talked about. And of course, we have some really cool clips. And it was another great story about the video that we watched, Happiness, and what she was talking about as far as how it was put together, where she did all of the filming herself and the lighting, and she did the makeup, and she did the whole thing. And that was Happiness is Just a Thing Called Joe. And she picked her, she did it with Lara. She did that incredible video. I think she did a fantastic job. I would never have thought that she did it all herself in that way. But really, really cool. And there she is again with the kids and with Patrick. Fantastic. I know a lot of you commented, a beautiful family. Absolutely. White Christmas and Passion and Bill Durham and so much more. She's really true lovely, huh? And again, maybe you've always heard about her. Maybe you've seen her in productions. Maybe you've seen her on television, seen her in film, seen her on stage. You've been a fan of hers, or maybe you are tonight. Hopefully you're a fan of ours here at the Jim Masters Show Live, where we do this all the time and we have lots of great conversations. What I love about this show is the interaction that I have as host with all of you, our viewers from around the world. And some of you have been with us since day one, some almost 300 episodes ago, live 7 days a week. And that too is quite a feat, 7 days a week, just about. And it's a blessing, right? So Melissa's amazing. Again, you can find her online and check her out if you ever see her performing in something, whether it's, on stage. You can see all of her work online as well. As she mentioned, the FIAF is tremendous. Check that out as well. And let's check in with some of our lovely viewers. Wonderful show. Good night, everyone. Take care. Mary, it's good to have you with us as well. Great show. And thank you, Kathleen and Juanita in South Africa. That was a lovely goodbye, wasn't it? That was a cool surprise when she sang at the end. Class act. She really, really is. Great show once more, Jim. Good night, everyone. I want to show you a couple of cool things. We have some amazing guests that are coming up as we continue here on the Jim Masters Show Live. Tomorrow night, a live performance from a wonderful, she's actually a dear friend. She's an acclaimed soprano. We've actually worked together. I emceed a couple of concerts that she was performing in New York. This is Anna Veleva. She's going to be with us tomorrow live on the Jim Masters Show Live, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Check us out there. And of course, Free Love Supreme is going to be with us as well. Freestyle Love Supreme is going to be with us. This is a fantastic performance troupe, and they have lots of comedy involved in their work, and they have a whole academy too. Co-founder is Lin-Manuel Miranda. They're going to be, the cast of Freestyle Love Supreme are going to be on our show Saturday. Saturday, it's a special time. It's 8 p.m. instead of our regular 7 p.m. time because they have a commitment early in the day. So we wanted to be able to schedule them in. So we're adjusting the time of our show to 8 p.m. on Saturday live. It's going to be cool. That'll be 5 p.m. Pacific. Freestyle Love Supreme. Yeah, they're going to be with us live. And then coming up on Sunday, this is going to be really amazing. We have the Celtic rock band, the very popular, I mean, they've sold lots of albums, lots of stage performances. The Rumjacks, the Celtic rock band, they're originally from Australia. They have Irish roots. Some of the members are going to be from actually broadcasting, joining us from the United States. I think one of them is going to be chiming in from Belfast, Ireland. That's going to be on Sunday. On Tuesday of next week, great friend, Brian Charles Rooney, fantastic singer and actor, award-winning, is going to be with us on Tuesday. Joey Calveri is going to be with us. He was in Rock of Ages and a lot of great productions, actor and singer. He's going to be with us coming up on Wednesday next week. Then another really popular group, the Byrne Brothers. There they are. You see them with their dad on the right. They hail from Ireland, and they are wildly popular. They're going to be with us coming up next Thursday, actually a week from today. And that's going to be really, really cool. And hey, I want to share with you, remember we've been getting some wonderful comments coming in from guests who have been on our show. Well, we got a couple more. We have tons of them, and we're sprinkling some of them in as we go along here on the Jim Masters Show Live. So we're going to be continuing to do that, and we may do a whole episode where we share some of the great guest comments, just sharing with us their experiences and why they've enjoyed being a guest here on the Jim Masters Show Live. Remember when Olivia Clark was with us, that wonderful singer and actress? I had an opportunity to work with her actually at Carnegie Hall, emceeing some amazing holiday concerts at Carnegie Hall in New York City for our dear friend, composer Tim Janis, and she's been a performer. She was also in the movie Buttons with Angela Lansbury and Dick Van Dyke. She got to do a dance number with Dick Van Dyke. If you missed that episode, it's on our YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV right here. And you can see all the episodes of our entertainment lifestyle talk show series. But Olivia sent this wonderful video for all of us to enjoy, sharing why she enjoys the show and enjoyed being a guest on it as well. So here's Olivia Clark.
Hi everyone, my name's Olivia Clark. I'm a singer, songwriter, actress, and dancer. And this past July, I had the wonderful opportunity to appear on the Jim Masters Show. It was an amazing experience. I was greeted by overwhelming kindness and levity by Jim and the viewers. I loved getting to share some of my experiences and a bit about who I am with all of you. And I am now so grateful to be a part of this family that Jim has brought together. I look forward to getting back onto the show in the new year. Bye, everyone.
She's amazing, a dear friend, and she will be back on the show as well. And then Sam Quasman, who was he was on the Bob Newhart show, but also he's a brilliant voiceover actor. He's an amazing performer. He did a wonderful episode with us as my special guest live from Hollywood. And he's just a brilliant performer. He's very funny. And he had this to say.
Hey, Jim Masters. I can't tell you how much fun I had on our interview. It went on for quite a while, but it went by so fast, and I really enjoyed it. It was really one of the best interviews I've ever had. I can't tell you how thrilled I was to be on your show. You're a master. You were named correctly, Jim Masters. You are a master at what you do, and I am just thrilled to be part of it. Anytime you want to interview me again, I'd love it, because I'm just a baby duck.
Oh, you mama. I love the mama.
Oh, yes.
That's the Jim Master Show. Oh, boy.
Anyway, I'm on Tom and Jerry cartoons right now, and I'm still acting and all that stuff. And Jim, you're just amazing, and I cannot tell you how wonderful it is to be on your show.
Goodbye. See you later. Bye-bye.
He's truly amazing, and he is on Tom and Jerry right now as we speak. Remember when Suze Lanier Bramlett was on our show, and she was in the Wes Craven's The Hills Have Eyes and so many other performances and shows, and she's just a brilliant actress. She was on our show live from California. You can see her episode with me as well. She had these words she wanted to share with all of us.
Hi, Susan Lanier Bramlett here, best known as Brenda from Wes Craven's The Hills Have Eyes. So we have to admit, last year did not go without its challenges. But one of the highlights of my year was being a guest on the Jim Masters Show. We had so much fun. The levity was just overflowing. So if I'm lucky, maybe I'll get to see you again next year. And I wish you peace and love and happiness always.
Thank you very much, Suze. We appreciate that. We also had a wonderful singer and actress. Remember, of course, Marlene Angelides was on our show. She's incredible. She performed for us live, and you can see that episode on the Jim Masters Show live as well. And she had these words she wanted to share with me and all of you.
Hello there. This is Marlene Angelides, now called Savella. Jim, thank you so much for having me and for introducing me to all your lovelies. It was a very unique and incredible experience that I had on your show. I really hope we get a chance to do it again. I wish you all health and prosperity in this new year, 2021. Yay! Let's make it happen, guys. Bye.
Absolutely amazing. We'll have her back on the show. I think she's in Europe right now. There's an event that she was a part of, but she was amazing. And again, all these guests and all of you, again, we thank you very much, everybody watching from around the world. Of course, one of our dear friends, Tony Lobianco, and his lovely wife, Elise. Tony, you know, from stage and television and film. He's a veteran actor. Elise is wonderful as well. Both very positive people. And I've had an opportunity to break bread with them and be at events, MC concerts, do a lot of cool things with them. And they were guests on the show. You can see that episode. We actually had Elise on one episode, and we had Tony on a separate episode. And it was really cool. They're great people. And they have these words for all of us.
Hey, Jim.
Hi, Jim, Tony, and Elise Lobianco here. My dog?
We want to say how much we enjoyed being on your show this last year. You interviewed Tony. We were separately. You interviewed Tony for his acting career and me for my Christian ministry.
And we just want to thank you for being such a gracious host and for doing your homework, finding out about us, and doing such a great job. I also want to apologize for this, by the way. COVID, has taken away our freedom and not allowed us to be social or political. And I just grew this. It'll come off.
And I like it.
She likes it. Okay. Thank
We
you.
look forward to seeing you in 2021.
Absolutely. Take care, Jim.
We appreciate that very much. Remember when we had former NFL cheerleader, remember when she was on the show? Oh, Jennifer Cobb. She was amazing. We had a wonderful time. And there was that wonderful organization that she's created, that wonderful charity. And she talked all about it. If you missed that episode, you can see it on our YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV. She wanted to share these words. This is Jennifer Cobb for me and for you.
I want to wish you and all your lovedies a happy new year, 2021. And I can't thank you all enough for having me on the show, sharing my story with all of you in hopes that it will help others all over the world. Thank you so much, Jim, and to all of your lovelies. God bless you and all your family and friends. Happy 2021.
Jennifer Cobb, that was fantastic. Remember when Celia Burke was on the show? You can see that episode on our YouTube channel as well.
Hi, everyone. It's Celia Burke in New York. I had such a good time on Jim Masters' show. I can't wait to see what he has planned for 2021. And he has the best audience. Wouldn't it be lovely to join them?
Absolutely. Remember when MG was on the show live from Sicily, Italy?
Hello to Jim and all of the Lovities in Lovity Hall. This is MG Maria Grazia calling in from beautiful Sicily from Trinacria Theatre Company. I just wanted to say it was such a joy to be on the show at the end of 2020. Wishing you all light and love and joy and levity going into 2021. I hope you have had a happy new year and hopefully that the year ahead is one that is full of light and love. Thank you so much again for having me on the show. I hope to see you guys soon. Bye.
Thank you very much, MG. Beautiful spot where she is. Jerome Brooks Jr., also another fantastic theater performer, Broadway, and so much more. Singer and dancer, actor extraordinaire. He had these words for all of us.
Hello, Jim Masters. It's Jerome Brooks, and it was indeed a pleasure being a part of your inaugural season. The questions, the research you've done on me, the videos you've shown, and the conversations we've had were dynamic. Thanks to June for connecting us, and congratulations to you. This is a great achievement. To many more years of the Jim Masters Show. Thank you again from Jerome Brooks Jr.
Cool with the glasses and the hat, right? He's a great guy and dear friend, and so happy to have him on. We'll have him back on the show as well. And then brilliant guitarist and musician, songwriter, and so much more, and another fantastic friend. John LaBarbera was on the show. We had an epic conversation with him. He brought out all his different guitars, all his different instruments. He played live. He's going to be coming back on the show real soon. He had these very nice words to share with me and with all of you.
Hi everyone, John LaBarbera here with a quick shout out to celebrate the Jim Masters Show live. And I'd like to share that with all of you. You know, I had such a great time on Jim's show last time. We spoke about music and a lot of my experiences as a musician. And it was just a very rewarding experience. And one of the best things is being able to share that with all of you and to watch the audience's reaction, which every show is very unique, and the way that Jim presents the show to you with audience interaction, I think is very important, and it really is mostly important during this period of time where we need this sense of connection, and Jim's show brings you right into that. You can look forward to it each night, and you never know who's going to appear. And I'm sure it's always a rewarding experience. You know, every time Jim and I would get together, it was always as if we were just, you know, we saw each other every day. And just feeling so comfortable. But now being able to have that experience with Jim's show, I think that he's opened it up to all of you and has built a wonderful family of friends and people from all over. It's so international, and it gives you really a sense of being connected. And that's one of the most important things, is the sense of community. And Jim has a great touch in doing that. So let's celebrate and hope to see you all again very soon on another show. And let's celebrate Jim Masters Show live. See you all again soon, I hope. Ciao.
Thank you very much, my friend, the incredible musician, guitarist, and so much more. Also a music professor in New Jersey, too. He's amazing at Baruch College. He's just tremendous. Another fantastic guest you may remember was the phenomenal songwriter, legendary songwriter and performer, Dennis Scott. We had such a great time with him. And if you didn't see it, he wanted to share these words. And he does it with a lot of vim, vigor, and flair and style.
Jim Masters, the host with the mostest Jim Masters. And nobody I know puts on as good a show as he. Or is it him? Hey Jim, this is Dennis Scott, coming from Music City, USA. And I just want you to know that the highlight of my year was being your guest on your show. It was a blast, and I'm looking forward to more of your shows in 2021, as are some of our friends, people that you know that would like to bid you happy holidays. Folks like, well, Stanley, what do you think of Jim? Oh, I don't know, Ollie. He's such a good guy. No. And then, of course, your other friend, well, you bet your life. Jim's a great interviewer, and if I was an interviewer as good as him, I'd be unemployed right now. And we can't forget, oh, Jim, you are a good guy with the interview is nice, and the talking with the microphone is very, very nice. Good job to you. So, anyway, have a happy holiday to you, and we'll see you soon in the new year. It's all about Jim.
He's a riot. He's amazing. Coming live from Nashville, another Long Island boy originally as well. Dina Fene, who is a brilliant singer. She's with Avalon Music. And of course, dear friend of mine, both of them, Dina and Bob Kinkle from Trans-Siberian Orchestra, had these kind words for all of us.
Hello, I'm Dina Fene.
And I'm Bob Kinkle.
From Avalona.
From Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Jim, we thank you so much for having us on your show this year. Being on your show is such a special experience. Sharing stories with you, sharing laughs with you, sharing tears and deep experiences and stories with you is just amazing. And mostly what's amazing is that you have created such levity in the world. Only you could do it, and only you have done it. So once again, thank you for having us on the show. Here's to a lot more. And Happy New Year. Sending you much love, joy, creativity, health, and everything that your heart desires for this new year and beyond.
Happy New Year. It's been great. Be well.
Be well.
Thank you very much, Dina and Bob, the wonderful performer, and Kittredge, which also we had a wonderful time with, and a wonderful guest on our show. Again, you can see all these episodes with these guests and so many more on our YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV. I know a lot of you like to binge watch the episodes, and we really, really appreciate that. We thank all of our viewers. We thank our guests and all of us here at the show. It's a blessing doing these shows every day. She had these kind words she wanted to share.
Hello, Jim Masters fans and viewers. And Jim, hi, how are you? It's been a while, but it was such a pleasure meeting you last year and being on your show. I just love your levity. And I wish you the very best in 2021. Take good care. Hope to see you soon. Bye.
That was beautifully done. She put a little production value in that, and we thank her very much. Connor McGinty was with us live from Ireland. Fantastic singer. He had these words.
Hi, Jim. I'm just dropping in here from a very wet Donegal on Boxing Day. I just want to say a massive thanks for having me on your show, the Jim Masters live show. It was a pleasure. I really enjoyed it. We had some great crack. Looking forward to seeing you again in the new year, and fingers crossed we have a better one than what we did this year. Keep up the good work, buddy, and hopefully we'll meet in person next year. Looking forward to seeing you soon. Have a good one.
Fantastic. Bob Malone, brilliant pianist, musician. He's going to be back on the show soon. He had these words.
Hey, Lovities, this is Bob Malone. I just want to let you know that I can't wait to be on the Jim Masters show again. Not only is Jim great to do an interview with, but he has the nicest fans on earth. I'll see you all soon.
Thanks, Bob. Appreciate that. John L. Peacock was with us. Wonderful performer as well. He had these words.
Howdy, everyone. John L. Peacock here, actor, writer, director, and I just wanted to take a moment to thank Jim Masters for everything that he does. You know, he's able to bring people together from such a wide array of life experiences and backgrounds, and he's able to interview us in a way that, for me, just made me feel so comfortable, so at home. You know, I met Jim literally a couple of minutes before we went on live for our roughly 2-hour interview, and it was refreshing. I felt like I was talking with an old best friend and we were catching up for the first time in 10 years. That's how at home, that's how comfortable he made me feel so quickly. So thank you, Jim, for all you do. I really appreciate it.
The amazing flautist, selling millions of albums, and just a great individual. Sir James Galway on our show with Lady Jean Galway, his lovely wife, who is also a brilliant flautist. She's originally from New York. He's from Ireland. They live in Switzerland. And we had, over the holidays, we had an amazing, epic conversation with them. They played live, and we also had some wonderful video. And they're dear friends. I actually met them while emceeing a holiday concert event at Carnegie Hall, and we've stayed in touch. And when I invited them to come on the show, they said, absolutely. They said, we happen to be here at our home right now in Switzerland, especially during the pandemic, and absolutely epic people. So here's Sir James Galway with these kind words.
Hello, Jim. I just want to tell you how much pleasure Jeannie and I got out of appearing on your show when it was possible to do that. I hope in the future we'll be able to do it again and take part in a great show.
Thank you very much, Sir James Galway. Darren Holden from the High Kings, another brilliant performer. I've known him for a long time, interviewed him on public television. He was a guest about a month and a half ago, around December time. You can see that episode live from Ireland right here on our Jim Masters TV channel on YouTube, on the Jim Masters Show Live. And he had these words he wanted to share with all of us.
Hey everybody, it's Darren Holden here from the High Kings. I wanted to give a big shout out to my old friend Jim Masters for having me on as a special guest on his show, the Jim Masters Show, recently. What an absolutely great time that was. One of my very, very favorite TV interviews in a long, long time. Jim is a legend, and he's well known all over the United States for being the very best in his field. And there's no doubting he will continue to be that going forward in 2021. Jim, thanks a million, and I hope we can do it again soon. Take care, buddy.
Thank you very much, Darren. I appreciate that. Remember when Meg Flather was on the show as well? Another brilliant performer. She had these words.
Hello, my friend Jim Masters. I want to thank you for having me on your show in 2020. It's going to be a better year. It has to be. Thanks to you, we've all had a safe place to connect. And to all your loveties, blessed New Year to you. It's Meg Flather thanking you so much. Bye-bye, my friend.
Thank you, Meg. And remember when Cindy Braniff was on the show, the wonderful playwright and performer and medium as well, psychic medium. She had these words.
Hi, this is Cindy from Long Island, wishing you light, levity, and love in 2021, with a special shout out for Jim Masters for creating a virtual, brave new world populated by lovities. Until we meet again, stay well, stay happy, and stay healthy.
Thank you very much, Cindy. We appreciate that, and we appreciate all these kind comments. Again, we're sprinkling some of these in. Not everybody's here every single night, so some of them are fresh for people, seeing them for the very first time. So we want to make sure we got a chance to share some of those with you this evening. I know a lot of you say you love them when you see them. We also have some from our viewers as well. Thank you for all of you who have been sending those in. If you would still like to do that, you can. You can make a video and send it to us. You can make it on your phone, on your laptop, camera, whatever, and you can send it to jimmasterstv@gmail.com, jimmasterstv@gmail.com. We would love that. Maybe we'll show it on the air. We have several of them we're going to be showing soon, and we've got more of these coming in from our guests. We really appreciate that. Kathleen Walker says, love all these videos. So do I, and so do all of us here. It's really kind of everybody to do that. We really appreciate that. Melissa, our wonderful guest, what an utter blast. Thank you, and love, love, love to all you from Mrs. Lovities with the XOs. We had a great time with Melissa. Thanks, Melissa. You were a blast. Love to have Patrick on the show. The door's open for him. Love to have you back as well, my friend. It was really, really cool. The time we spent, it flies by in a New York minute, that's for sure. Christine Clifton says, thanks for an entertaining and wonderful show with Melissa tonight. Great way to end the show with a beautiful Sondheim song. I agree. It was a great choice by Melissa. Good night, Jim and Lovities, and Lovity hugs. And to all, till next time. Tomorrow, acclaimed soprano Anna Velova is here. It's going to be wonderful. She's going to sing for us live. I know a lot of you ask, are they going to sing? Are they going to do this? Are they going to juggle? Are they going to do magic? Are they going to? Usually, we try to plan that. If they want to do it, and she wants to do it, and she's going to do it. It's going to be cool tomorrow. Christine Clifton, thank you very much. Kathleen Walker, thanks, Jim. Have a great night. Good night, all. Stay safe. Lovely hugs to everybody. We appreciate that. Kathleen, hope you're doing well. Hope you have a spectacular rest of your evening. And again, we thank those are just some, those videos we just showed are just some of the ones that have come in from our guests. We have a bevy more. We'll be sprinkling those in during the course of the show. You know, we're all in this together, right? In life, we're all in this together. And that just reminds us of how much the world depends on all of us to be together. And we certainly do that here nightly on our show. Thank you, Jim, for such a wonderful evening. Good night and sweet dreams, everyone. From Ann Wozniak. Thank you very much, Ann. It's always a pleasure to have you here. Amy says, fun show. Thank you, Amy. Kathleen says, great show. Mary Bishop, wonderful show. Good night, everyone. Take care. And for all of you who are regulars, as well as all of you who are watching us for the first time, we welcome you. And we would love it if you subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the notification bell so you don't miss any of our exciting content. In addition to this series, the Jim Masters Show Live, we also do another series called Masters Mantras, and they're quick videos. Boy, we got a lot of people that are watching the Winter Wonderland one we did, where we just took some video of the really scenic Winter Wonderland we had outside our door here along the coast when we had that 1.5 feet of snow. A lot of people seem to be watching that on YouTube. It's amazing. Hundreds of people have been watching that. And it's just a scenic, you know, moment of calm in what our Masters Mantras series that I've been doing for a long time. So you can see that on our YouTube channel as well. Good stuff, gang. We appreciate all of you, and another epic night. We wish you well. We toast to all of you. We say thank you for joining us on this episode of the Jim Masters Show Live. God, 3 hours and 13 minutes. You guys can talk. All right, gang. A couple of things we always do at the end of our show just to put some positivity out there for everybody. Again, amazing guests coming up throughout the week. Don't forget to smile. Share the smile. Don't forget to share the levity. Again, that was a word we just happened to stumble on accidentally. But again, several people have said it wasn't an accident. It was meant to be. So share that levity, gang. Life is short. Live it, and live it to the fullest. Growing up here in the Northeastern United States along the coast, we are here along the coast right now in the greater New York area, between New York and Boston on the southern New England coast here. But growing up in New York on Long Island, of course, the ocean right there. And love the ocean, swimming, surfing, boogie boarding, sailing it, the whole bit. So the ocean is sort of my Zen place. The ultimate Zen place is kind of like what Melissa was talking about as far as things that inspire her and great blessings is time with family and friends, loving family and friends. Number one, nothing tops that. Nothing tops family and friends. And then, of course, all the other things that we do, the career in television and radio and stage and all of that over the years, that has and continues to be a blessing and brings me great joy as well. So again, count your blessings and count those things in life, those simple things in life that matter most. And just do your thing, make your mark. And again, as we always say, relax. Sometimes I have to remind myself to do that. We always show this at the end of the show, sort of a little trademark here. relax and breathe from the diaphragm, get a good full breath, love one another, love yourself, and, share it with the world. Take time for yourself and get out there and create and do things that fill your soul and fill your heart and share it with the world. That's how we always love to end our show, with some positivity. Again, you can find us here on the Jim Masters Show Live. We're here to present as much levity and entertainment with you here on the program. 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, our entertainment lifestyle talk show series. All right. It's kind of like doing peekaboo when I do that, right? All right, Kathleen, right back at you, my friend. You have a great night, and we appreciate all of you. All right. That's a wrap. Thanking you for your time this time. Till next time, I'm your host, Jim Masters. We love you all. We thank you all. Spread the word about our entertainment lifestyle talk show series. We really appreciate that. Share the links, comment, enjoy, and tell those you care about our show. We'll be here tomorrow night for you, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, on the Jim Masters Show Live. All of you, wherever you are around the world, we really appreciate you joining us, and you have a great day. If you're watching in time zones where it is day or morning, the rest of you have a good night. Thanks for being with us. Love you all. Take care. Be well.